Figures. Everybody dies. You're like, yeah, I gotta hear that sad music one more time.
Well, I actually watched it this time. I changed my movie mode from natural to movie, and it actually does look better in movie mode.
No, okay.
What's up?
All right, well, we alive. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Ryan the Professional. We are back. RGT episode 35 here on YouTube.com. Hey, shout out to everybody that's already here. Do me a huge favor, hit that like button. Go ahead and share the video. You already do that nature. Sit back, enjoy. We're going to have a good time with this one. Like always, good panel. Everybody's here, and we're going to go ahead and talk about everything from the XO18 event that supposedly has been leaked, these new PS5 specs that's also been leaked, and a few other things that happen in this gaming world. So without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce the panel, and let's go ahead and get started. We'll start with ladies. Go ahead, Nancy.
And what's up, everybody? Thanks for coming by and watching us. This is the Titanfall Princess, and let's get it going.
Absolutely. Mr. Craig Harris.
Yo, I am so excited to talk about Microsoft XO 2018, everything that's come out, the Xbox community, being excited. So let's get it going.
Carlos.
Hey, man. Once again, episode 30 freaking 5. And we're live and direct Friday night, or Friday afternoon, Friday morning for anybody else is outside of the United States. But yeah, man, welcome to the RGT podcast, man, and shout out to everybody in the chats, and to also my my squad mates, my family in this here YouTube streets. Gamer by choice, not by trend.
All right. Foxy Games.
Hey, what's happening? It's Fox from Foxy Games UK. Big shout out to everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, and for those in the UK and Europe, good night.
What's up, Clay? Go ahead, Clay.
What's good? What up? What up? What's good, everybody? It is your boy Lincoln Clay, the godfather of gaming, the ageless wonder. Thanks for having me on board the RGT podcast. I really appreciate it. It's an honor to be here. As always, it's going to be hot up in here, so let's do this.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll start with the fire, I guess, with this one. Microsoft's X018 event, which is tomorrow, by the way, supposedly has been leaked. The event supposedly is going to have the following. So let's go through it. The confirmed games on this list are The Division 2, Crackdown 3, Kingdom Hearts 3, Ori and the Will of the Wisp. Will of the Wisp. Game Pass surprises, Shadow of the Tomb Raider update, State of Decay update, Sea of Thieves update, mouse and keyboard games. Yeah. Here are some other announcements, and that's basically Forza Horizon 4 update, original Xbox backwards compatible games update, Battletoads first look, One Studio acquisition, Ninja Theory's project, and something Gears related with Sunset Overdrive. And what will not be there basically is Playground Game second project and Halo Infinite will not be there. So does that sound like an interesting event to go see?
For me personally, it's whatever. I mean, you're talking about Sea of Thieves. Okay, come on. You're talking about State of Decay. Come on. And you're just giving like extra to games that are already there. Where are all the brand new games? Okay, in my opinion, to watch it, like I said, but I still have my expectations low. That's like I said, we talked about before. I have it low. I mean, really, you're not talking about, okay, they said maybe a sneak peek at Battletoads. We've been hearing about Battletoads for how long now?
Yeah. Sure.
So, that's why I'm keeping my expectations low, because they always talk about stuff, but it's years later and still nothing. So,
okay,
we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Got you. Who else want to add their input on that?
I want to take the floor if I may. Wow. Let's put it this way. Tomorrow will be a deciding factor in terms of show and no-go. And practically what we're seeing is no-go from all the lineup that they have. Yes, that they're going to announce Crackdown 3, which is the most sought-after gem this whole generation by all these Xbox fanboys. Yeah, that's good, but where are the other acquisitions? Where are the other announcements from the studios that you guys have acquired? Where are the, insiders for anything relatable to the Project Scarlet? What are you going to try to prove for next gen? If you're just going to show controllers and theme consoles once again, then you might as well just done another Inside Xbox instead of just spending lucrative amounts of money going to Mexico for no reason. That's just the way I see it, in my opinion. Not factual, so that people won't get butthurt like they always do.
Carlos, Craig, anything you want to add to it?
Yeah, I've got screenshots of people saying what we were going to see, so we better see it. I'm going to tear them down in front of the world. But we better see. I've got screenshots of people saying that Fable was going to be there, that Splinter Cell was going to be there, that a couple other, several other things are going to be there. And these are some pretty prominent YouTubers, so they better be there. If not, then I strongly suggest they keep their mouth shut from now on. Because I have noticed a trend. They've gone from most high down to they're not expecting a whole lot. Well, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. You don't get to open the mouth and then start backing up. You're going to stand in there and take it like a man. So I better see Fable. That's what I'm tuning in to see.
Well, I got news for that. There was actually a report that came out that stated that you probably won't see that for quite some time.
Oh, well, no, it better be there. According to these guys, it's going to be there. So that's why I'm tuning in. I'm excited about it. I know they're doing an Inside Xbox. Is it tonight or tomorrow or something like that?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, so I better see it because they said I was going to see it. So I'll be tuning in and I'll be ready for it. And they know who they are. They said these games are going to be there. And the Splinter Cell game, I'm very excited. I love that series. Right. So, I even gave that other one, the Double Agent. That was trash, but I gave it a pass because Conviction was really good. So I'm excited, and I better see these games. I can't wait to see Fable. It's supposed to be their version of Horizon Zero Dawn, and that's what I'm expecting. I want their version of Horizon Zero Dawn tomorrow in my face because that's what these guys said. And I screenshotted. I learned how to use that button here. I didn't even know it was on my keyboard, but there it was the whole time. So I learned how to use it. And I'm going to use it, and I've used it. So, and I even know how to take the screenshot now and to put it on Twitter. And I'm going to put, here's what your simping ass said a few weeks ago. So it better be there. It better be there. Or then I might just have a I'm not worried about it. So, but yeah, I'm excited. Bring it on. I'm so excited.
Okay. Who else wanted to add anything towards that?
I'll go ahead and drop in a little bit. Myself, I'm not really interested in watching it. Based on that lineup that you just announced, it sounds like E3 all over again. And Microsoft's has demonstrated rather lackluster presentations, so it might end up looking like another episode of Inside Xbox, which virtually puts me to sleep every time I look at that. But as far as that lineup goes, I think the only thing that grabs my curiosity is wondering what Ninja Theory is working on, and and I'm also, even though nothing was mentioned about it, I'm also curious if they'll drop some kind of hint about the next gen consoles.
Right. Okay. Yeah. From from what I just read about the list, it just feels like your typical Inside Xbox, basically. It's updates for old games and just few reveals. That's it. But we shall see. We should definitely see if it's worth, jumping out your seat over tomorrow. For sure.
I'm excited.
So Red Dead Redemption 2 sold 17 million copies in just 8 days.
I'd love to have given my opinion on that last thing, but we're moving on.
Nah,
I kept
give
quiet. I
the floor
kept
to
quiet.
Foxy,
I
man.
got
I
dead
kept quiet.
silent. I'm like, wait, did he talk?
I kept quiet because I just wanted everyone to have their go.
Come on, Foxy. Lay the facts, man. Lay the Nostradamus on everybody right now.
Well, I'm pretty sure I covered this in a video, if I can remember. But listen, I've seen the leak too. It doesn't look promising, but you know, I really want Microsoft to knock it out of the park, because if not for this gen, for next gen, I'd love for them to just show. Don't even show me in-game footage. Show me target footage for these next gen games in a trailer form, and then show me gameplay later in other events next year or whatever. But just at least get everyone excited about next gen. I think they need to fire their shots first, because Sony's got a lot of momentum right now with the PS5. A lot of people talking about PS5, and Sony's not even having really to do anything to generate that buzz. They're not even really commenting too much. All they said was, yeah, the PS5 is a necessity. It's necessary, and it's going to be next gen. Yeah, cool. All right, as if we didn't know that already. But here's the thing. Microsoft need to generate buzz now. This generation is gone for them. It's been gone. It's over. It's been over. So they should use XO18 as, like, I don't know, to reaffirm their status, like to say, do you remember us from the 360? Do you remember us from the OG Xbox? Well, we're back. And do it with the next gen. Just, as I say, you know, just show me target footage. I don't care if it's CGI Fable. I don't care if it's CGI anything. I don't care. Just show me something to get the buzz going. Because I actually want Microsoft to do well in the next gen. Forget this gen, it's a wrap. But next gen, I want them to be on even footing with Sony. I want to see 50-50 market share between them. Obviously, Nintendo ties into this, but between the two of them, I want them to have even market share. So the consumer wins and gets all the deals and all even better games, because they're both going to have to outdo each other. Cheaper consoles, price cuts left, right, and center. I love it when there's a bunch of competition going on, because, you know, not to say that the PS4 generation hasn't been of any value, or, you know, I haven't felt like any benefit to, you know, competition. There has been competition. It hasn't really come from Microsoft.
Yeah. Right. Competition brings out the best in everybody.
Yeah, and another thing, just before we move on, I think if XO18 is not, you know, overly exciting, I think the people have themselves to blame, because I've been keeping an eye on what Microsoft's been doing in terms of promoting it, and they haven't really gone wild. They haven't really promised you too much. They haven't elaborated to say, like, these whole bunch of new IPs are going to be shown. In fact, they've been very honest. They said, Playground Games said themselves, and Microsoft has said, that don't expect Fable, don't expect Playground's second team game, and don't expect anything on Halo Infinite. I'm pretty sure they said don't expect Halo 5 either, but there will be something. Not Halo 5, sorry, Gears 5. My head's all over the place. Too many games. That's the problem on my brain. But, you know, don't expect Gears 5, although there will be some kind of Gears something or the other there. It could be the chibi Gears. Who knows? We don't know. And they're also talking about Sunset Overdrive, you know, going over to the PC, Steam. So you may get something on that. You may get a lot of PC keyboard and announcement games, because, yeah, they've gone to a lot of effort to get that setup going on the Xbox. So obviously they're going to talk about keyboard and mouse games. And I don't really have a problem with that, even though I don't choose to play on that method. But yeah, I feel like this is Microsoft's opportunity now that PlayStation Experience has missed this year. They should seize the day, seize the moment, carpe diem, the Latin word, seize the day, and just come out, you know, guns blazing, slow motion, Red Dead Redemption, shoot everybody. Just do it.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah, but that's not, even though this Playground said those things, and they did. I mean, they confirmed it, came from the studio's mouth. That's not what these Xbox, that's not what the community was saying a couple weeks ago.
But here what
somebody is lying. Either the community is lying. Go ahead, Fox. Go ahead, brother.
I don't listen to the community. If, you know, if it's not official, or it's not somebody close to official like a source.
Uh-huh.
And when I say close to official, I mean inside official, as close as you can get to official. I'm not listening to anybody because I find social media, the internet, everything's just full of wild, rampant speculation and overinflated opinions that ain't worth shit.
Oh my
Well,
God.
you're right. I mean, I agree with you 100%. But the community has got to be right. I mean, you know, it's just it's them against the developers. It's their word. It's their nose on the line, and
They're
they
hopeful,
put,
man.
you know. So somebody's lying. I mean, you know, somebody's
Can't
lying.
blame them. Can't blame them for being hopeful though, Craig, because it's like an Obama moment. Remember when Obama was campaigning to become president? Hope.
Yeah.
Everything was hope and change and hope. What they're hoping? They're hoping on change, and I hope it comes for them.
Well, hey, rebellions were built on hope. So that's what they said in Rogue One. But no, somebody, I just don't want to be lied to. I mean, I'm sticking with the Xbox community. I mean, they said that these games are going to be there, and the developer ain't telling the truth because why would they? Look at what Blizzard just did to people.
I was just about to say that. Wouldn't it be funny if we had another Diablo situation and they unveiled a bunch of mobile shit?
But
Yeah.
the community, Craig, you know more than the community. You, Craig, look, I'm not hyping you up or anything, but most people right here, right now on this panel know more than most of the community do.
I agree. But
most of the community just feeds off of most of the community just reads tweets and feeds off of other people's ideas and then spreads it like a virus. They don't even know what they're tweeting. They're just taking somebody else's word for it without any validation, any kind of substantiation. There's nothing to back it up, but they'll retweet it anyway, and then it becomes real to them. So let them dwell in their fantasy. Alice in the Wonderland. Yeah, you fell down the rabbit hole, all right.
Yeah. Tell you the truth, I just want them to be. I want like there to be a moment where we all can just be excited. That's what I want. Like we really all need to be excited. It can't just be one-sided next gen where Sony's getting all these crazy announcements, Nintendo's getting their announcements, and Microsoft's just in the corner with their thumb in their mouth. Nah, everybody needs to communicate. Everybody needs to have their own thing going on.
So that's what I'm hopeful for.
I'm really sorry, but I think unless you're looking forward to a lot of mobile games next generation, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot to be excited about on the Xbox platform.
Oh, that's a fact though. That is true. You got all these, mobile companies coming out, all brave all of a sudden. They want to attack Nintendo. It's like even
hold
with
on. I'm confused. What's mobile got to do with the Xbox?
With them having a goal of trying to reach 2 billion gamers, it's going to take a lot more than reaching console gamers to achieve that goal. I think they're going to have a huge impact in the mobile market.
Oh, you're talking about streaming?
However they plan to reach 2 billion gamers, however they plan to do it, I think they're going to have to be aggressive in the mobile market.
Who's that? Is that Lincoln?
Yes, it is. How you doing, Foxy?
Hey, how you doing, bro? I'm not even looking at the PC, so I don't even know who was talking. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. It's good to hook up with you again. I wanted to say hi to everybody, but I didn't want to interrupt anybody. Carlos, Tidefar Princess, Craig, how y'all doing?
Hey, what's happening? I'm excited. Can't you tell?
Yes, sir.
You guys, you're feeling his voice. I'm excited. Can't you tell?
Oh, got to pay the bills, Ryan.
Well, I'm gonna let y'all in a little secret. I'm buying the Xbox One X again.
I saw that.
Know why? You know why? Because it's $329 in the UK, right? For Black Friday, right? So I'm gonna cop me one of those, and I'm gonna sell my Xbox One S for like 149 Great British pounds. I'll throw in a AAA game, something I've completed, maybe Gears 3 or something, I don't know. And I'll throw in a rechargeable controller. And then in the end, I'd have paid like $179 for my console. 170, 169, something like that. So it's worth it for me because, there's at least, I'd say, a year and a half left for the Xbox One X before Microsoft overshadows it with another console. But even then, you'll still get games running on it because Microsoft have this whole PC-centric vision going on where every console is going to be able to run games up until a certain point. I think the Xbox One S is the one that's going to get dropped like sooner rather than later, but the X should be able to run games like at a lesser quality than Scarlet, with 6 T-flops. Like the Scarlet can't be more than 15 T-flops, right? 6 is more or less, give or take a few, half of that. So you get half the experience. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even if it's at 1080p.
Okay.
Hey, Foxy, I'd like to give you a little bit of advice. If you want to add value to that Xbox One S when you go to sell it, I think you should give it a Black Panther theme.
Cruel.
Shout out to Carlos Crispin. He said the Xbox console is no longer a priority for Microsoft. Pretty much, it's not at this rate. Let's go to chat here. Read some of these questions. It says, when have specs ever actually been leaked? Good question.
We're jumping onto spec leaks. I thought we was doing Red Dead Redemption 2 next.
No, she's asking me a question. When have specs ever been leaked? Going to the Red Dead situation, a YouTuber was banned from YouTube because he allegedly punched a feminist in Red Dead Redemption 2, the game.
Good. How dare he attack an imaginary character made out of pixels, causing great harm to human beings in the real world who happen to be female? How dare he? He should be strung up, quartered, burned at the stake, some Witcher 3 style murder. I want to see this guy hang.
I actually heard that and I thought that was funny. You're talking about a video game. It's
I mean, it was a real thing, you know, and he like posted it on YouTube, sure, but it's a video game. Welcome to a feminist. It's like, come on, bro. Y'all had the KKK in the damn game.
Oh, and for the slow movers in the room, I was joking. It was a euphemism. Look it up. Google it. Euphemism.
Yeah, but doesn't Grand Theft Auto let you do just about anything to anybody?
Yeah. I'm not even
prostitution, all that shit. You can do all that.
I mean, the fact that you could take a rocket launcher and actually use it in Grand Theft Auto 5 to blow stuff up, that should be not even that harmful with this scenario with Shirrako. It shouldn't really be that much of a emphasis to make an example out of him, because there are plenty of games that do even worse. I mean, you remember going Postal back in the early 90s? That game was very controversial.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I still remember that.
That's tame now, though. You're looking back at it now.
That's like, if you look at going Postal is like literally you're going to a candy shop. Okay, let me get this, let me get that. So this whole scenario of trying to censor certain things, yes, to censor it for children, for minors, yes, I'm all for it.
Yeah, but Red Dead Redemption 2 is not for minors.
And that's where that's where the biggest part is at.
Carlos, you know my biggest problem with it?
Mm-hmm.
How many times have we seen games on YouTube, playthroughs, streams, men being murdered? Bunch of men. Don't matter if it's Call of Duty, don't matter if it's Grand Theft Auto, men killing men. Nobody says a goddamn thing. As soon as a woman gets hurt, it's a big fucking deal. Do you know something? I'm all for women. I've got a daughter, but I'm also for equality. Now, if we're going to scream about attacking women in video games, why have we been so silent? When millions of headshots have been took place on male characters for donkey's years, billions of headshots. For how many years since YouTube has been a thing? And nobody's come out and said, oh, we mustn't, this is terrible. This is a terrible representation for men. Look at them, holes in the head, holes in the chest, men being decapitated, men being killed, men being even waterboarded. Grand Theft Auto 5, waterboarded.
Bro,
not only that, last time I checked, Laura Croft and Chloe of Uncharted Legacy killed a lot of people in their game.
Oh yeah.
Well, she killed men though, didn't she? She
never killed men. She ain't killing no woman. She killed men.
She killed men.
But
it's getting out of hand. I think men are being demonized, I'm afraid. I'm all for. Let me just say this. Let me just qualify this, because I don't want people to. I don't want to end it there and then people start screaming at me in the chat. Right? I think men are being demonized because of the whole Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby and the Me Too movement, and women's voices are being heard now. But the problem is, you can't have one voice saturate the other or be elevated over the other. I see equality as an even playing field. All voices should matter, right? All voices should matter, right? So, but I feel like men are kind of beasts now. In this day and age, men are being treated like, be cautious with men. Like, even in my workplace, you know, because of the Me Too movement, even in my workplace where I work now, the kind of interaction I used to have with female employees we've had many meetings, and like men we can barely like say anything beyond hello now. It's getting ridiculous. Like if you comment on a woman in the office and say, oh, your hair looks good today, somehow that could be, we're not allowed to say it in our workplace because that could be taken as offense. Just you know, complimenting somebody.
Yeah, you almost have to say, do you like your hair? If they say yeah, you can say good and walk off.
Because I like it too. I'm in agreement with you. Aren't we equal?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. I'm probably sure, like I heard you say, it took you a while to put that in your head. So yeah, but I got
Nancy,
one thing
but Nancy being the girl, because I did kind of jump on the beginning.
No, that's okay. I was actually agreeing with you. There's like a feminist movement thing that, you know, I don't think is right. I don't believe in all that feminist crap. All right, I believe everybody should be treated the same. You know, it's just like you know. Even a while back, if a female, you know, punched a guy, he couldn't punch her back. Well, wait a minute. You hit him first. So if you're going to act like a dude and hit a dude, why can't he hit you back? Why can't you get hit back? You know, I mean,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that because I you know, Fox pretty much said what I was going to say, but in a different way. I do agree with that. I think it's wrong. And before I get off that subject, I just want you guys to know that Showstopper tried to deflected what happened and tried to say it was a Sony pony when in fact it was an Xbox.
Oh yeah, we know Showstopper like doing all those you know, ever since he has that interaction with that person that made that video on him on Twitter, you know, in regards to that threat. He's always been thinking with this, it's Sony's fault, but in reality, Showstopper, and I hope you're listening to the show, not every Sony fan is out to go and get blood on people. There are some Sony fans that are some very extremists.
Don't you think the world has gone mad? Look, that you've got people accusing other people of setting up bombings and shootings in America, right? You've got the victims being treated like the criminal. All right. This world is upside down. Like the victims are the victims have become persecuted these days. If you're a victim, like you become like the criminal sometimes. And like even though you've done nothing wrong, you just happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and a bomb goes off. But yet it becomes a political football, and somehow the victims are at fault. Just for existing, just for being a human being and alive,
and that shouldn't be the case, Foxy. Everybody has the right to.
But it's the same with this thing, isn't it? If it's negative against Xbox, it must be a PlayStation person in disguise. Like this is all upside down nonsense. Like the world is a mess, dude.
Yeah, the vernacular that they have is not even concise with the situation, because
truth has become lie, and the lie has become the truth.
And the proof. Yep. And that's exactly what I was about to say. And people, you got to wake up, man. You got to see the signs when a person is actually being more serious than jokingly and more abrupt than truthful. And there's a lot of dudes on the Xbox side, especially extreme Xbox fanboys, that take that whole "I'm better than you" vernacular and try to use it as fuel to ensue death threats.
You know what? I'm sorry I have to say this, and I know a sizable portion of America is not going to be happy with what I'm about to say, but I'm a truth speaker, and I'm a truth seeker.
You got to speak the facts, my brother.
Listen, a lot of this has become highlighted since your commander-in-chief became the leader of the free world. I'm afraid, like the world has become even more shit, and even more upside down, and even more lies have turned true, and true have turned lies. You know, since this guy has been in charge. I'm sorry to say, but it's the truth. Like he makes it seem acceptable to conflate reality, flip it, and turn it into something else. And everyone just goes along with it and says, oh, okay, yeah, that's the way it went. That's not how it went. Look at this Jim Acosta guy. They're trying to say that he attacked a female.
And in reality,
he was trying to attack him for the mic. Like, he done a karate chop. You see. They slow down the video. No, they speed up the video and zoom in to make it look like he's karate chopping her, and saying how trying to turn it into another Me Too moment when the guy's done nothing but ask a simple question about a caravan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is the world we live in. This is the world we live in. Yeah. This is the world we live in.
Do you guys even realize that after he did his speech, there was another mass shooting in California?
Yeah, I know all about that mass shooting. Listen, I used to live in the States like 8 years. Okay. So I know my family's there as well. All right. Family from Jamaica, family from the UK has immigrated over generations, and their children are born there, and they're all adults now. So I got family, I got seeds in the soil of America. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I take a lot of interest in American politics, more so than the UK, because the UK politics is just boring as hell. Bunch of toffs who went to private school.
To add to what you were saying, Foxy, I'll take it a step further. I think if this president is impeached and removed from office, it would be the greatest day in American history. This man has brought racism and violence to this country, and he's brought racism that hasn't been seen since the 50s. I mean, I haven't seen so many people get, blatant with the racism and some of the things that they say. And this man sidesteps massive shootings, turns a blind eye to him, and this is it's just incredible. So
somebody not standing for the flag, that's what he'll do.
Trump is a child with bad hair.
Yo, and you know what's the funny part about this whole situation? Gun control. Once again, the biggest flag in this whole situation is the right to bear arms, because most of these NRA fanatics don't really see the actual harm that is being brought upon them. Listen, man, these people have a mental instability that it could be triggered at any time. You could be in a damn fucking 7-Eleven for all you know, and this dude could just come in and shoot you. Bam. But
never mind them. The people that make the laws have mental instability.
Yeah,
never mind the depressed, downtrodden, disenfranchised people, common folk. Never mind them. You got lawmakers who are out of their mind.
And I think it should just stop already, man. Like, just wake up, make things better for the normal person that wants to live a full life with a future, and not to have so much death around them. Like it literally broke my heart to see that man talk about his son in that way, shedding so many tears. And then you have some dumb X-bot on Twitter talking about that everything is staged. All right, so if they put a 9mm to your head, is that staged? Because pretty much that's what you're trying to say.
I think I know you're talking about there. I'm not sure if they said it was staged or if they were asking the question, could it be staged?
And then this is the type of people that really get me pissed off, because you got to see it with a different vernacular. You have to use common sense, logic. Listen, this is wrong. This is something that's substantially threatening people. Like, there are some people that are really afraid to go out in the streets and try to enjoy life because they're afraid that in a public venue, it might be their last day on earth. And this has to be, abruptly stopped. Like,
I agree.
A way.
I agree. But back to gaming, because we don't want to lose people.
Yeah, man. Let's get back to these topics.
I didn't mean to take it to left field. I didn't think it was going to go that way. I was just stating my opinion.
No, I can see people in the chat bailing. People are in the chat bailing. They're probably sick of politics.
I could not go that direction, because we're speaking of that situation where the guy got banned from YouTube for the content that he displayed. How could it not go in this direction?
I know, but
they reinstated.
Here's what I'm saying: it could be a whole podcast.
They reinstated his account
on this kind of thing, man.
They reinstated his account, and that game's got fake HDR, so it doesn't even need to be talked about. It doesn't need to be talked about. It's not even the best. It's not even technical. It's not even technically it's a bad game. if anytime you got Ubisoft outperform you when it comes to HDR, then I don't want to hear about Red Dead until I wake up one morning and it says full HDR. Like that Xbox. Look, they got fake 4K, they got fake HDR, they've got everything. I mean, so people just need to leave Red Dead alone. Leave it alone until it comes back and be a real game, like Horizon Zero Dawn.
Craig,
calm down, Craig.
Can we honestly agree
Let's go ahead and change this for me.
The Xbox.
No, it's HDR. I mean, great. It sold well. We knew it would. But I mean, damn. I mean, I had some sim. If you don't have OLED, like because if you don't have OLED, it doesn't matter. You don't have real HDR. I said, are you kidding me? It has fake HDR. End of discussion. End of discussion.
HDR10 is the rated standard for all HDR rated content.
Oh, but they got HDR5. They have HDR5 based on that standard. They either have 5 or 500. Based on it's fake. It's the same thing as Nier Automata. Nier Automata on the Xbox has fake HDR. So, and they want to brag about it. It's nothing. It's successful. Shout out to Rockstar. I supported it, but I took mine back. I said when it says real HDR, I will go ahead and purchase it. I mean, I'll get it. It's not like the game isn't fun. It's fun, but hell, there was somebody hanging off of a cliff begging me to pull them back up. And I was like, well, I can't do nothing for you, son. And I stepped on his hand and he fell. I mean, I don't see why this, somebody getting, these people are stupid.
I didn't say anything about it, but I had an Xbox troll come at me on the comment section of one of my podcasts over Red Dead Redemption because I said I just can't get into this game. So he said some less than flattering things and said I have no imagination and made some comments about my appearance, and so I had to say some things that weren't so nice and told him he should probably take Phil Spencer's private parts out of his mouth and do something productive with his life.
Well, dude's threatening people's children over this Xbox thing. Hope you know that Smokey Dog really got threatened on Twitter.
Yeah, I did see that.
I feel sorry for Phil Spencer's private parts because they've been in so many places according to social media. Everyone says that. Why don't you suck on blah blah blah? Why don't you suck on
must be tired. The line waiting to get a piece of Phil Spencer's private part wraps around America twice because he
must be tired, man. That's enough to make your hair gray.
That think it's okay to have fake HDR are the same men that probably think it's okay that their wives and girlfriends have fake orgasms.
Oh,
that's just
what's fake HDR though? What are we talking about?
It's fake HDR. It's the best. It's tough to watch, man. When you watch the
what's fake HDR?
Video. When you watch that Digital Foundry video, they talk about how fake the HDR is, and you hear them.
Oh, you're talking about one game.
Well, with Nier Automata is 2 games.
All right, but you're not talking about the console, though, are you?
No. The console has
those particular games, right?
HDR. I mean, look, Mass Effect Andromeda got an enhanced, and it's got full HDR on Xbox X, and that game is garbage. And so, but if they can do it, and this is EA we're talking about,
I don't know why they bothered. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to update Mass Effect Andromeda. Why? That thing was dead and buried. Let it rest.
Or Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm like, I don't see nobody going back to get Rise of the Tomb Raider, especially they already beat it just to see a graphical upgrade. It's weird.
It's like it was buried and they exhumed it. Let the thing rest. It's disrespectful to wake the dead.
It's weird. Something they chose is like, okay, that's stupid. It's clearly
the game's dead, man. Dead. It's so dead I can't even sell it. Even Amazon won't let me sell it on my Amazon account.
Yeah, I got no interest in that game. I mean,
Amazon was smart. Like within like 3 weeks of the game being launched, when it got all the bad press, Amazon were restricting people from reselling their game for that game. Because they didn't want it to be an over because they was expecting an avalanche of listings, and it doesn't look good. Right? So I couldn't sell my game. No one would buy nowhere could I sell my Mass Effect Andromeda. Nowhere. Not even for £5 UK. Nowhere. No one wants
GameStop offered me 88 cents. So
exactly.
Are you kidding me?
In-store credit, which they're supposed to give like 30% more.
Dude, I can't give it away.
Hold on,
They
Craig.
offered me 88 cents.
88 cents.
That's
Why I don't miss a game.
What
Listen,
platform was your
listen, I can't give it away. Do you know what I did? I took it all the way out, about 500 miles from my house to the coast. I buried it in the sand, yeah? And then I got in my car and I drove 4 hours all the way home. And when I got home, it was on my fucking bed covered in sand.
Yeah, you use the last blade and beat you back home.
It said, you're going to get rid of me so easy. You're going to have me for life.
Yeah, I mean, I'm stuck with it.
Hey, Craig, what console was your Mass Effect on?
Oh, that was on the PlayStation, and that was a year ago. I'm like, I'm not even playing this anymore. And then so they enhanced it on N7 Day, November 7th, for Xbox. I'm like, well, I'll go check it out then. And it's still Mass Effect. It's still bad. It doesn't matter what console it's on.
No, yes, it does, because they would have offered you 8 cents for the Xbox version.
Maybe, but I don't
even if you wrap up a turd in a ribbon and put lipstick on it, you know, if you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. It's just wearing lipstick.
Yeah, so it's just a bad game. But my point is that it has full HDR. So they actually cared enough about the game to give it a full presentation. Rockstar, they didn't care about Red Dead. They fake HDR it. So it's like, why are people still talking about this game? It's terrible. Give me real HDR. You're Rockstar. Oh, and I did get I didn't screenshot it. I what's that dude's name? John Linnerman or whatever that crazy guy is for Digital Foundry. I sent him an email saying, why did you compare the HDR build of Red Dead 2 to Horizon Zero Dawn when this game has fake HDR? And he sent an apology back saying, yeah, we've tempered our response until Rockstar fixes the game. Because they literally said, if you go back and watch the when they did the Xbox version of the game, that's the one that Digital Foundry reviewed, they said it's just as good, if not better, HDR than Horizon Zero Dawn. And like, ain't no way in earth that game looks as good as that. It just doesn't. And people got to move on. You know, when they stop faking the funk, then people will start caring more. You know, but damn, with that fake HDR, I mean, Nier Automata, fake HDR. It's like, damn, y'all not taking the time to just don't even put it in the game. Just don't put it in there. You know, it's like a bartender giving you a little bit of Jack Daniels. Why?
HDR is going to be improved though across the board because Sony, Microsoft, Samsung, a lot of those companies, LG, a whole bunch of them, Philips, they're all linking together to have a standard.
Beautiful, and I love it, but it can't be faked. If you're going to spend the money like these companies are doing, like you said, Samsung and Sony, they've all banded together. Great. To advance the technology, don't come back with no 7-8-bit HDR. Come back with bare minimum 10-bit encrypted HDR. You can't do that on this game, and I'm hearing it's game of the year. Get the fuck out of here! It can't be game of the year with fake HDR.
Aside from the HDR dilemma that we're having, has anyone else in the panel enjoyed playing Red Dead Redemption?
Oh, the game is fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm enjoying it.
I'm a bit fatigued at the moment though. I think I'm near the end, but I'm a bit fatigued because I get that with open world games sometimes. Like I played so many, like sometimes I need to take a rest and play Mario Kart 8 or something.
Yeah.
I need something much more linear. Do you know, something more focused? Because with open world games, you can spend hours in it and not do much.
That's true.
True.
It's like you've only done one mission, but you spent 4 hours in the game because you were running around trying to build up and collect other things, like sort of slightly grindy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I've actually enjoyed. I played a lot of poker.
Yeah,
I just can't. I just can't get into it.
I'm gonna play against the people in the poker game. It's like really fun.
I love Red Redemption 2. I think it's amazing. It's probably game of the year on so many levels. But the fact that it's open world and you can do so much, listen. This whole generation and the last generation has been about open world games, right? And they've not done a lot of them properly. They've just had this big space and thrown a lot of pointless things in there, like to fill it, like padding. And when you really look at the game, if you just follow the story, you can do it in 5 hours. But the open world nature of it makes it last like 50 hours.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like Red Dead Redemption 2 is not one of those games, but it's still a vast amount of things to consider and do.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
does fatigue you. Sometimes you need to sit back, leave the open world games alone for a couple of days if you feel like fatigued. Play a very linear game. You know, a game where, you know, the objective is you can't go nowhere. It's always forward. Do you know what I'm saying? Or sideways if it's a 2D scroller. But something that's linear. Like you know, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is perfect because, you know, it's so focused. It's not, you know, it's just about fun.
Right.
Yeah. It is fun. I mean, it's just but I don't want to hear no technical achievement. You know, it's a good it's the best looking, it's the second best looking open world game on the Xbox this year. They have conveniently forgot about Far Cry 5, which is 4K native, 30 FPS, just like Red Dead, except it has full HDR. So, and it has a working ecosystem. It has more things going on that screen than any other game, open world game this year so far. So that I've played. Let me caveat that. I said that I played, and it's right now Far Cry. It would, if I had to vote between that and Red Dead, for open world game, Far Cry wins going away right now, unless Rockstar fixes this bullshit.
Okay.
So you're saying the only thing, so you're basing everything you just said on the fact that the HDR is not implemented properly.
It's fake HDR.
Is it that important to you though?
I mean, this hearing people say, I mean,
does that break the game? Does that break the game? Does it ruin the game?
No, the game is fun. But even Rise of the Tomb Raider, who people just ripped on, is 4K native, 30 FPS, full HDR. And you mean to tell me they can't? I mean, if Rockstar, I shout out to Rockstar because they said we're aware of it and we're working on it. And I believe
think it's a bug. I think it's a bug. I don't think it's fake. I think there's a bug in there because the PS4 Pro version, right? There are parts when it's so blurry in 4K that I have to play in 1080p for it to look sharp. Honestly. But there's times when the day change, you know, time of day will change and weather changes, and then it's not blurry anymore in 4K. So I feel like it's a bug because it's only blurry depending on the time of day and weather. Like there are times when it's perfectly clear. Like I think it's a bug.
Yeah, I mean, again, I agree with that. I agree the game is fun, but I don't want to hear any technical achievement until they fix it. It is a good open world game, but it's not even the best looking open world game on that.
No, Horizon Zero Dawn, in my humble opinion, still looks better than Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh yeah, I agree, but this isn't about Horizon. This is about a game called Far Cry 5, which is open world, open ecosystem. You're driving, you can motorcycles, cars, airplanes, helicopters. You're killing white supremacists. I mean, you got everything in front of you. I mean, it's open world. You don't have to go.
And you get to.
You had to throw that in there, didn't you, Craig?
Well, I'm just saying, it's got a lot of gunplay, like Red Dead, gunplay, stuff like that. Now, if you want to say atmosphere-wise, yes, I love the game's atmosphere, but I'm an old Western guy. So I like that, but it's just the people saying it's a technical achievement. I hate that when you don't even have the right processes in, and then you're going to damage control it. Just shut up. The game.
All right, Craig. Now, I'm gonna rag a little bit on the cowboy fanboys, the Westerner fanboys, because, all right, Red Dead, exceptionally, it is a great open world game.
Facts.
It is lush. It is full of environmental equities. It is something far beyond, but at its root core, it is still a cowboy game. It's a genre that's been done plenty of times. It's not nothing new. It is new to some people because they haven't played a cowboy game since since Gun, RDR1.
Wow.
You understand? I'm going back because some people have to be reminded that the cowboy genre has been done before, and this is not the first time that an open benchmark like Red Dead has done what it's done. Yes, it has done what it needed to do for its genre, to revamp it, to refreshen it. But that it trumps other games? No, it doesn't. It has its positives and negatives. And from quite frankly, from what I'm hearing from everybody else, not my own opinion, from everybody else's opinion, they like the game. They like the game, but they feel that the game feels a little bit too realistic, or it gets boring. You know, understand? It gets boring after a while. That you have to do chores in the game. Yes, it's understandable. You're supposed to have interaction. You're supposed to have an objective, but
you don't have to do chores in the game. You don't have to do that.
Well, there actually are legit. There actually are legit chores if you go to the camp. Like you got to feed the horses.
No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. That's
if
you want to be a rebel, don't do it. Look, you can be a good cowboy. You can be a bad cowboy. If you're lazy, you're gonna be a bad cowboy. That's it. It's not gonna ruin. It's not gonna change the game apart from how people treat you. That's all. You're gonna get different comments.
That is understandable.
In terms of the open world, they kind of miss an opportunity with certain things, like the legendary animals. Majority of the legendary animals that you hunt are just albino differences. That's it. Like they're all white looking animals. That's it. There's more variety.
I'm gonna be
unpopular on this panel because I think it's game of the year. Sorry.
Myself, I'll have to revisit this game once it goes on sale.
I think it starts off slow. It doesn't get slow and boring. It begins slow and boring. It doesn't become slow and boring. It becomes exciting and amazing. It starts off slow for like hours. Like even I was surprised. I thought this is not your typical Rockstar game. This feels like one of those Japanese RPGs. Like nothing's happening for hours and hours, and then bang.
Yeah, facts. Good point. It's a good game, but it's just not a technical.
I don't call it GOTY yet because it's very mixed. There's a lot of mixed opinions.
I'll give it game of the year for what it's doing, for the mechanics, for the physics. I think it is a technical achievement for what they're able to do with these consoles, because the CPU on these consoles are seriously lacking. And when you look at all of the components that makes up Red Dead Redemption 2, physics, gameplay, draw distance, LODs, everything that's going on, plus all the lighting, plus all of those transparency effects, which are notoriously known for making these consoles really struggle. When you look at what Rockstar has built with their engine, their Rage engine and Euphoria physics engine, man, it is incredible. Is it the greatest story out there? No. Right? Is it the best story I've ever played? No, it's not. Is it the most amazing looking character models I've ever seen? No. But when you look at it from a technical standpoint, like this is next gen stuff. This is what I expect to see on the PS5 and the next Xbox in terms of the physics. I'm just talking about the mechanics of the game, the way everything just pieces together. I know a lot of people say there's a lot of it's got a lot of bugs and there's a lot of things that go wrong in the game. I've seen them on YouTube and blah blah blah. But honestly, I haven't experienced that many myself. I haven't. Like the horse got stuck. The horse got stuck in the barn like 5 times when I first started the game, and ever since then I've had no problems.
No, aside from that, it's just from what I'm technically listening to and to what I'm looking at and to see. I actually played it via share play, and the only thing that I can actually say about the game, they got to fix that aiming system. Like it is the most horrible aiming
Red Dead
system.
Redemption 2's aiming system's bad.
Yes,
I agree with
it is.
You know what? Each to their own. Each to their own. I can't say you're wrong because that's your perception and how you feel about it, right? Because we all play
Foxy, I played.
I'm sorry, I play with auto aim off. I don't use auto aim, not even a tiny bit. It's completely off. I'm completely manually shooting, and I am loving the hell out of it.
I mean, I play SOCOM, and that's a multiplayer online game, and you play it in third-person view. And I do turn off the auto aim when I was playing that back in 2002. And believe me, compared to that, this is not. If you have to literally use that, what is it? That red eye or whatever, dead eye, just to actually get an accurate shot. then that's not accuracy. That's an inconsistent.
Well, but understand that a gun nowadays that a Navy SEAL team uses is much better than the guns they had back then.
No. I know. I understand that. That is physics-wise, yes. It's going to be a revolver is going to be different from an assault rifle. But when I'm using a 45, or if I'm using even in the old SOCON games, you had Python revolvers as well. You had those revolver style secondaries, and you could actually shoot with those guns in the game as well. And from that experience, I was like, okay, maybe it's not as accurate, but it is still fun to get some shots in. It's just it is a borderline of between realism and game. I want to enjoy the game, not too much realism.
All right, can I ask you a question? Did you enjoy The Last of Us, the shooting mechanic?
I did.
Because that is way off on purpose. Purpose, because you're meant to be panicking while you're shooting. That's why it's off. Yeah. That's why it sways so much, and it's not pin sharp like Call of Duty. Right? But that is more difficult to work with than Red Dead Redemption 2's shooting mechanic. And I think it's done and that's the ultimate realism in The Last of Us, because you would actually operate a gun like that if you were panicking. You'd be shooting wildly, like you wouldn't have time to line up shots perfectly if someone is facing you with a gun, right? So Naughty Dog handled that well, and I think that Rockstar were going for a similar thing, only a lot toned down. Like it sits between arcade and realism. But look, I'm not here to disagree with people because I'm not a narcissist. I don't think my opinion should be imposed over everyone else. I'm not lauding here. But for me, the only problem I've had with Red Dead Redemption is the problem I've had with all open world games. Fatigue. After a while, you get fatigued. It's not boredom, it's just fatigue. Like sometimes you want to be told in a game. Sometimes you want to be instructed. You want some form of...
You want that objective to be put...
Yeah, sometimes you need the objective like to be simple, and there's not a bunch of different pointers on the map. You just, one objective, let me focus and complete the level.
About the rest later on, that's another.
But that's not a Red Dead Redemption 2 problem. That's an open world game problem, because I felt like that with Dying Light, Horizon Zero Dawn, Zelda Breath of the Wild, you name it. Even Far Cry 5, they all became tiresome, not boring, but just I got to do this next. I got to do that next. Oh man, I got to, especially with Red Dead Redemption 2, fast travel isn't as accessible as other games, so you literally have to gallop like across the whole map sometimes. And I understand how people can find that a bit obnoxious and boring, but there's a reason why there's a travel. You can hit the travel button and just kick back and burn maybe you don't burn, but you could do something. Go make a cup of something. Go do something while the game takes you there.
Yeah. My issue with the game is the acting. I think
what?
The acting. The fluidity of the acting, it almost seems like somebody did not write a script. It almost feels like somebody was in a recording booth and they recorded a bunch of snippets and then stitched them all together in the game.
Wow.
That's normally what they do, though.
I don't know what game you've been playing, man. I don't know what game you've been playing.
Okay, like an example of what I'm talking about is when Dutch was addressing everybody, was like, I know it's been a rough few days, but we've got to stick together. And then everybody goes about their business. Then he turns to Arthur and be like, Arthur, thanks for having faith in me and believing in me. I was like,
My God, you did that so well. You did that so well. I feel like you should get a free platinum trophy for that.
You know what's funny? That's actually how it was, though, if you think about it in the Old West.
It was.
They really acted in that manner at times. It's just what it is.
And I get that. And one of and they getting ready to go into a shootout or rob a bank or something like that. And you got to tell Arthur for the 98th time, thank you for sticking by my side and having faith in me.
Actually, if you play more of it, though, he actually starts to doubt it, man. So there you go. And hello, by the way, people. Hello, everybody.
Well, if I walk into a saloon one day, I tell you why, you better have my guns ready, boy.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be a spoiler if people actually played it longer than fucking chapter 2.
No, but it is a slow burner. It is a slow burner, but
you gotta play to understand it and really.
But like a fine wine, it catches up to you, and you'll soon be acting silly.
You know, I'm going to revisit the game. It's just not right now.
Yeah, opportunity for me in the game.
It's between God of War. It's between God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2 for Game of the Year. Quite simple.
Oh no, Detroit.
Red Dead for me all the way, bud.
I heard Detroit is picking up steam. Is what I've been told.
Nah, Detroit won't win it. Detroit won't win it. Detroit might win a film festival or interactive film festival. No, I'm not dissing the game. I love the game, but it's not that type of party. Like, it's the wrong award show for that to win.
Yeah.
Well, keep in mind though, Fox. Remember, it wasn't that long ago when Walking Dead Telltale game won Game of the Year at the Game Awards.
But they won it because they were indie studio. They won it under the indie studio.
True.
Prize award.
No. They won actually Game of the Year that year.
Yeah, for
I think
indie.
it was no. The full-on Game of the Year.
No, they got it because they were indies. I'm saying there was bias then because everyone was in love with the indie scene that time. That wouldn't happen this year. If that game released this year or last year, it wouldn't have happened. It happened at a time when indies were a big deal.
Yeah.
Such a big deal that the PlayStation was called Indie Station.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right about that. I forgot about that. You're right.
Add a little bit to this. Hold on. So you say Game of the Year, most likely it is going to be God of War and Red Dead because God of War just won the Game of the Year at the Trusted. What's the name of it? Hold on.
Trusted Reviews.
Yeah, Trusted Reviews.
Sure the hell don't trust that pick.
And don't forget about the game that was going to be the Game of the Year. Everybody just forgot about it. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That game was going to be Game of the Year.
Oh God, fucking Christ!
You know, I learned how to do that screenshot thing, and I'm going to learn.
It might be Game of the Year in Hong Kong, but it won't be Game of the Year anywhere else. I'll tell you.
Kong.
It was great. It was a technical marvel, but as far as Game of the Year is concerned, nah, it's not one of those games that grabs a lot of people. Like intentionally.
It's like Spider-Man can't win Game of the Year either. It can't just because it's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Point. It's got its appeal. It's going to be up to the masses at the end of the day.
Like
it's
Zelda only won, not because it's amazing. It is amazing. It's so amazing. I'm playing it again from scratch in master mode. But it didn't win because it was Zelda. It won because of the industry's affinity with Nintendo as well. Like it was 50-50. We love Nintendo, and this game's amazing. That's why it won Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Which is why I only go based on my own preference for when it comes to Game of the Year. Fuck everybody else's.
Yeah, it's all subjective. I mean, but when Ryan, the professional, does, or Fox, when you do your video saying HDR full for Red Dead, I will be the happiest guy.
I won't be ever making that video because I don't worry about the little things.
Oh, okay. Well, my God.
The video you'll get for me is when they add a little bit more variety in the legendary animals. I'm talking about for the next Red Dead because, like I said, all the legendary animals are basically albino. That's been what they are. The only difference in terms of legendary animals.
I haven't even done any of that. I probably found one buffalo, and I think by accident it was a legendary animal. Yeah, I only killed it because it ran into me, and I thought, "Well, take this." Because I was just minding my business, smoking a cigarette, and it ran into the back of me like for a joke and ran off. So I chased it and killed it.
Not all legendary animals, Ryan, are white, albino, as you call them.
All of them, they're on the land. Majority of them are white.
The bear was a normal looking, creepy ass looking bear. The cheetah was not white for shit. Period.
I tell you what game I'm off. I can't play no more. Hitman. I don't care about this Hitman game.
That's Game of the Year according to the Xbox.
I don't care about them. I'm bored of Hitman. Bored.
It's got 4K 30.
It's got fake ray tracing.
Oh, it does.
Oh, that garbage terminology again.
Got anything fake, you can't win nothing. I mean, that's all I can say. If you got fake anything, you can't win. I mean, it's just not right.
Yeah, but here's the thing: most people don't give a fuck about HDR, though. That's the thing.
Well, that's their problem. You don't fake the funk.
Bear, I agree with you. You know why? Because 90% of the time, apart from Horizon Zero Dawn, 90% of the time, I turn HDR off. I find it way better without it. because it makes things too. The contrast looks off to me. It don't matter how I got a good TV. It's nothing to do with the quality of my TV. I got a high-end TV, right? It's just I find sometimes it oversaturates things. HDR
Makes it too dark, right?
too dark and too like fire and things are just too brilliant to me. Like it's too brilliant for my eyes. My eyes are too used to. I live in the UK where it's dull and always raining. I don't want to see a brilliance in my eyes all the time. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you, man.
I don't want the sun to actually look like the sun because that would make my eyes get screwed up. I want a fake sun in my game, not.
Hey, Fox, have you? Did you beat Red Dead 2?
No, I've given it a break. I've break that, dude. I haven't touched it for 2 days. I'm on my Nintendo Switch. I'm giving it a break, bro. Same with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Like, I'm fatigued at the moment. I'm trying to play linear games so I can go back to the open world again.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see. You're taking a break. Yeah. When I beat the main story, dude, man, like that game just blew my fucking mind, man. When it got to the ending of that game, oh, it's so good.
Close to the end, though.
All right, don't spoil nothing. Don't spoil
I ain't saying shit. Don't worry. I'm not saying shit.
I'll tell you where I am. I'm not giving it away. I'm at panic stage. That's not giving it away, but I'm at the stage where, you know, like The Walking Dead, you know, you begin with a whole group.
Yeah.
And everyone's getting
on. I know what you mean. Yep. Yeah.
Right, I'm at the stage where, you know, people are starting. It's a survival issue now.
Yepers. Yeah, I know exactly what part you're on.
Now. The Pinkertons are on my ass.
Let's move on. Saying this subject, we don't dwell on this one for a minute. Activision says they're not happy with Destiny sales.
Good.
Okay.
Good. Well, they got franchise.
Online games
free. If I'm not mistaken, it was given away for free.
Dude, all always online games must fail by default.
But you know what's sad about this? They said in the very statement that they're looking for ways to monetize it further. So basically, since it's not doing so well, and the sales,
I know what they're gonna do. They're gonna copy Fortnite and sell you cosmetics.
There you go. Go that route. And another thing they came out with too. This was regarding Call of Duty. Remember they made like 500 million something like that in revenue. They said that wasn't. Remember how they said it wasn't enough? So obviously that's where their attention's at. Their attention's not on giving you a quality game when they know it can sell. No, they're just trying to nickel and dime you for whatever hype you get. So
they were expecting $750 million out of the Call of Duty game. The shareholders, that's what they were quoted.
How much?
Okay, let's go ahead because they took heat not putting a campaign in there. They got pushed. They said, no, we'll make more money. You'll get more money at the end of that year. And they didn't get it. And they mad as hell. I mean, they are mad as hell at that shit. I mean, the game was successful financially. It just underperformed based on what they were told. So it's unfortunate, though, Ryan. I agree with you. Long run, they should not have ever not done a campaign. That's all I can say.
It's always been the mix. That's been a staple with the franchise. Regardless if the campaign sucked or not, that was still value to some person. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you give me this amazing online, and you had the time of the day to throw in a single player. I mean, that's that's a value to somebody.
There's 100 players in blackout mode, and I came in 10th place, and I didn't shoot nobody. That game sucks.
Yeah, I played the Fortnite mode. You know, so I gave my review to it. I was like, dog, I like the Fortnite, like mode, but it's like at the end of the day, it still needs to be Call of Duty at its essence. Is it still Call of Duty in its essence? Yeah. Somewhat. It still is that. But they're just, I don't know. It just seems like they miss opportunities. Like back in the day, we used to play Call of Duty not just for the multiplayer, but we love the score streaks and the kill streaks. They've been lacking on that effort as well. I was like, come on, what y'all doing with this franchise?
I ain't got time for Battlefield 5 or whatever they call it, 2. I ain't got no time for Black Ops 4. I ain't got time. I'm done with that series for a while.
Yeah, I'm going to get Battlefield. I got to get it on the superior console, though, but I'm going to get it.
It's the same rubbish, though. No matter what Call of Duty they do, you know what's going to happen. You go from point to point. Someone's going to be screaming at you for an intercom. Okay? You're going to get a few gadgets. Okay, you might end up on the moon or on Mars and then back home again. There you go. Game over.
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
Anyone who's been following me knows that the majority of the games that I've been playing have been the VR games.
Yeah.
In the single player games, because like first person shooter games, most of them don't even appeal to me anymore, because I almost feel like They don't want to make the game fun. They just want to try to find a way to monetize the shit out of the game. Throwing your basic shit and just like overload it with microtransactions.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't disagree, and that's just games like Fortnite and things like that. It didn't cost them a whole lot to make. It's they're making a killing off of it, and everybody sees that the revenue that they're getting, and they want to copy it. They go in, they demand you give me a Fortnite.
Yeah, but you see, you could enjoy Fortnite without spending a dime and still have and still be competitive because it's all cosmetics.
True.
Look at Warframe. Look at Warframe, for example. Warframe is a free-to-play game. You have a choice or an option. Okay, it's always an option if you want to buy the stuff that you want to get, or you can actually get it in through in-game progression. And quite frankly, with this whole scenario with the Black Ops 4, I feel that they fell victim to the trend of what was going on with the whole Fortnite, PUBG situation. They felt that since those games were actually making, breaking bank, that they were gonna, with their solidified name as Call of Duty, the brand that brings the first person experience to everyone, they felt that their name should be more than enough to drive or motivate people to play it. But in reality, you're killing off the fan base that made your game the go-to choice by not incorporating that first-person, single-player experience.
Yeah,
and Warframe
their fans led them to believe this by literally buying every single one of these cosmetic items, whether it be through the supply drops or whatever. They led them down that mindset. So it's not so surprising.
Those games are exceptions to the rule, but when you got a game like Call of Duty where it's riddled with microtransactions, and that is basically the bulk of the game. And then you add to that the patent that we knew that they filed, where they had a matchmaking system that tries to put you in a situation where the cards are stacked against you to encourage you to go off and buy accessories to your weapon to get a level playing field. All this stuff after you paid the $60 admission fee.
What's crazy though? That you said that though. You know what's crazy about that? If you go back and play Black Ops 3 online right now and you prestige, it kind of feels like they do that by default. Now, don't it? You're always getting a match with somebody who's like super high in the rankings, or who's in your particular ranking, right? Who has all these weapons maxed out, and you don't have shit but a pistol. That's what they try to do to force you this type of shit. So, Call of Duty in general, again, people claim that people hate on the franchise. Ain't nobody hating on the franchise. It's the franchise just doesn't cater to nobody anymore. It caters to like the bullshit.
Well, no, if you want to get online and call them the V2, that's the franchise for you, because that's what they're doing.
They don't even deliver the V2 though. The V2 is not even in the fucking game. They give you these shitty kill streaks. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
Black Ops 4 doesn't have no crazy like in the air kill streak like that. That's not.
Hey, Ryan. Sorry, I'm before I go, because my mom's on her way to pick me up. Did you see that overpriced piece of shit skin on PUBG? That's $25.
Yeah,
did you guys see that shit?
Yeah.
That is outright fucking robbery, bro.
Whoa. What is this?
And I guarantee you will get an update for that tomorrow. That's gonna be a big update. I don't know if you missed.
That's fucking disgusting, dude.
What
Go ahead
happened?
shed some light on that, Fatal. Go ahead. Shed some light on that.
So PUBG, they made like some deal with like that Suicide Squad movie, whatever the case would be, to get like the Harley Quinn outfit in the game.
Warner Brothers?
And they're charging people, Warner Brothers, whatever the fucking case may be. I don't know. I don't give a shit. But anyway, they're selling the outfit for $24.99 fucking $25. Are you fucking kidding me?
No,
bro, I'm good.
Wait. You're wrong. You can get a discount if you buy both of them. It's $45. Woohoo!
That makes it even worse, bro. That's even worse because they have like a Joker one in there too as well.
You got to pay for.
You got to be a Joker to buy that, innit? You got to be a Joker to pay for that.
Nah.
Literally.
Yeah, when I saw that, when I woke up yesterday, because I screen capped the guy's fucking post, man. I couldn't believe it with my own
That
two
should
eyes,
be
man. Like
free
that
as a
shit.
Thank you.
That shit disgusts me, man.
That should be free as thank you for making our game so popular at launch and making us millions, 10 cent and all that stuff. Thank you so much. But nah,
They
they're
can't
punishing you for
fucking
enjoying
run.
Fortnite more.
Why would they charge you for some shit like that? That should be free by default. What the fuck?
Now they're punishing the gamers, isn't it? How dare you enjoy Fortnite? Pay for this, sucker.
Right? Yeah. But anyways, sorry that I got to split though, man. Fucking, but thanks for having me on, dude. I appreciate it, man. It was nice talking to you again, there, fucking Fox and Titan, everybody else. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Yeah, later, guys.
Later, brother. Yeah, yo. Y'all gonna get more details on that tomorrow. But as far as the event is concerned, because we already talked about it, but the leaks, again, I'll go over one more time and then I'll move on from that permanently. The games that are supposed to going to be there are the Division 2, Crackdown 3, Kingdom Hearts 3, Ori and the Will of the Wisp. Game Pass surprises will include games like well, they have Game Pass surprises. They have games like Shadow of the Tomb Raider for updates. They got State of Decay 2, Sea of Thieves, and mouse and keyboard games. They also have updates for for Forza Horizon 4, and they have backwards compatible games. They got Battletoads First Look and updates from Ninja Theory. What's it? Acquisition and Gears related something news. So there you go. Not much is really going to be shown at the events, from what I saw. There.
Oh, you know what you forgot to mention? I'm sure they're gonna have another controller.
Oh no, that's
Oh no! They're gonna have special. They've been showing. Well, I think they're gonna have like a special theme XO18 console as well.
You know,
If
Adam
I
Wilson
could be
made a joke
mistaken.
about that, but I wouldn't put it past him to put like an XO18 controller at the show. I wouldn't. Put it
And
past
Major Nelson will be there with his white gloves too.
him. Yeah, I would not put it past him at all. That seems like something he would do, and history has proven that's the shit he's into. Like, he'll actually overhype something as small as a fucking controller or a console, and really put extra emphasis on it as if it's so fucking holy by putting on white gloves. It's like, dude, stop. You're making it worse before the shit even settles down.
Do you know what's more interesting than the leaked lineup of XO18, which I hope is false, by the way, because I really want them to have a good show, honestly. But I tell you what's more exciting than that right now. The fact that after almost 2 years, or call it over 18 months, YouTube has landed on Switch. And guess what? I was cooking today, yeah? And I thought to myself, like, I'm in my kitchen, like, obviously there's no TV in my kitchen. So I'm cooking today, right? And I said, I'm going to be in here for a good half an hour, man. I wish I normally have my TV on in the living room, but I can't see it, but I can at least hear it. So I kind of treat it like a radio. But with the Switch and YouTube, I bought that portably into the kitchen, put it on top of my refrigerator, pulled out the kickstand, and was watching YouTube on it. And it was amazing. It was incredible.
Kickstand.
It's a simple thing like YouTube, but for that scenario where you're cooking or you're doing something where a TV is not really accessible, but you still want to watch something or hear something, fabulous.
I just hope there's only one thing I hope doesn't happen at the show, that Phil Spencer at least keeps his hands out of his pockets.
I wonder if we can get odds on that. I say 2-1 or 3-1 that he comes out there and that's exactly what he does.
People give him a hard time though, man.
That shit's nasty though. You should be on stage doing that shit when people are watching. Come on. What? Phil Spencer playing in his pockets. He plays with himself on stage.
I mean, at least he wasn't as deliberate as the dude at the event when the Xbox One was first revealed. Remember how he had the clicker in his pocket? He was saying, Xbox, go to TV, and he was clicking the button. You actually see in his pocket.
I didn't know.
I think every time he did a gesture with the screen, he literally had his hands in his pocket. The only gesture that legit worked is when he grabbed the screen with the using the Kinect and pulled back, and you were back at the menu. That was it.
Oh man!
The only gesture that legit was programmed to work.
Damn!
Wow!
Dude, they could have gone to that smoking beers. Oh man, you guys smoking beers. It's funny as hell. Let's see here. So, turns out that gamers spend more. Gamers who are subscribed to networks or not networks, but subscription services actually spend more on games than your average gamer. And as of right now, PS now has more users on there than Game Pass and any other service so far.
Make more money too, more revenue. 52%
Right now,
total revenue.
For Sony's favor in terms of market share when it comes to PS now.
So if it's 273 million a quarter, right?
Mhm.
Revenue that they all make collectively, and Sony has 52% of that, right?
Yeah.
Sony's killing it.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
thinking that we're thinking the service isn't doing well, but Sony's making shitloads of money.
That's insane.
They run to the bank
Somebody's
and
paying
deposit
for it.
checks.
Somebody out there paying for it.
Even with the supposed latency that people complain about, the input lag, I'm surprised that they got 52%, but I'm not surprised that they're leading the market because they do have 600 games, in PlayStation Now versus 100 in Game Pass, because they don't seem to go over 100 with Game Pass. They bring in 3 new games and they drop 3 new games. So
yeah, but think about this conundrum. Sony has already said in their last financial conference call with investors that PlayStation Now is an area that is underperforming, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they're the leaders and it's underperforming from their point of view, that means Microsoft and all the others aren't doing very well with their service. Because if Sony says it's underperforming, that means they're not seeing the kind of dividends that they want to see in that period of time, right? They was expecting more, but yet they got 52% of the market. So if Sony think it isn't right where it needs to be right now, how are the other guys feeling with 8% and Microsoft with only 16% for Game Pass? 16%. I thought at least 70% of Xbox owners would be jumping on that, because this is not me being a fanboy, but let's be honest, looking at the sales figures and everything else, they're not all buying games. So I thought they'd jump on the rental thing.
Yeah.
So I thought Game Pass was doing way better than PlayStation Now for that reason, that PS4 games tend to sell 2 to 1.
But if I could say this, Foxy, maybe that number spiked once they allowed you to download some games on PlayStation Now.
It probably did.
That with Game Pass, it's loaded with 360 games and lackluster current generation first party games.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I was about to state right now. If I can recall, right? I think a couple of months back, there were a couple of people stating that that Game Pass was going to surpass PlayStation Now due to the how shall we call it, the engagement of players going for the service, right? That was one of the main thesis from these people. So once again, if you are subscribed to Game Pass, you're only paying $10 or whatever the price is, right? You have also the option to cancel that subscription and not play the games if you don't want to. It's the same goes for PSN Now. Same goes for the Steam. Same goes for EA Origins. If you want to stay on the subscription, you could keep on playing and paying for the service. But if you don't want to play it no more, you can cancel at any time. So
that's what I don't like. You see, I feel like,
and that's where the double-edged sword bites Microsoft in the
all
ass.
of them actually bites them all on the ass. If this is the direction they're going, I'll tell you why, Carlos, because I tell you what I hate about it. What I don't like about these service games that you never own. It's just what you said, Carlos. If you stop paying, you lose access. Like, imagine you don't own any games and you bought a console and everything you've been doing has been on a subscription. So you don't own any physical games. You don't own any digital games. Everything has been on a borrow. Okay. It's like you're paying them and you're on a loan system and then you have to give it back. You lose rights to it, right? When you stop paying. So basically, if you fall into financial a financial situation where you got to cut back on a few things, and that happens to be one of them, you literally have no games.
Yep, and pretty much you're back to this is going back to square root one. For the demand to meet the actual expectation, you have to provide something that's substantially gainful in order for people to be, to be infused into your system. And this is where this whole Game Pass and this whole PSN Now stuff, it really doesn't attract that many people. Yes, that Sony's making or cornering the market, good for Sony. But that Microsoft is trying to follow that same trend, because if I can recall, there were a lot of people, oh, but look, PSN Now is copying Game Pass. PSN Now came out before Game Pass, so why is Game Pass not copying what PSN Now is doing? You understand? So put an attractive price, yes, people are gonna go for it, but that they're gonna actually invest into it, it really depends on the content that you have within that
But
service.
Sony has had a head start, there, haven't they? They have had a lot longer
they
to
had
curate
and
a
that's
selection of games.
That's
Like
a-
Game Pass is still
and,
relatively
and
new.
that's why I would have waited for next gen to come up with this idea, because you would have had more of a better, broader library game,
Mhm.
and actually emphasize all that and incorporate it with the new gen games and do it that, and and vice versa, and that would actually beneficially increase their profit. But they didn't see it that way. They saw it as, let's do it now since we have the 1X and we have these game services going on, and let's try to entice people to go back into our ecosystem. And that's where it fails, because you have to literally have something worth putting people in that ecosystem, and in order for them to grasp on it and stay with it as long as they can, not the other way around. Just give them free trial pass.
Can y'all see this on screen?
Yeah, I see
Yeah.
it.
That's how significant
Mhm.
Sony has been with this whole service.
So they have got 52%, not 53%.
53% of the
Okay, so
market
it's
share.
52%. I thought as much.
16.
That's why you don't listen to randoms.
Yeah.
It's 52% of 273 though. I feel like that number's not very high.
Yeah, but that's
No,
just
it
a
really
quarter,
isn't.
by the way. That's a quarter.
No, that's
It's
a quarter. I
building-
still don't think it's very high.
It's building up to $1 billion a year. This is only going to grow. It's not going to shrink. It's going to grow. You're
For
only
sure.
looking at a quarter here. If you look at it over a year, that's almost $1 billion a year creeping up to. That is, it might not be like in the grand scheme of things a whole heap of money, but it helps.
I mean, by the end of the year, I'm sorry, by the end of the year, I think that number will substantially increase to probably like around mid 500 to 600 million, and that's where it's going to stop at,
You think?
in my opinion. Yeah, I think that's because right now we're almost done with this year, and next year pretty much is going to be the iteration of newer titles and some announcements for certain potential spec leaks for the newer consoles. So I'll give it till next gen for this to pick up really more, because now Microsoft is incorporating the whole stream to play services with next gen, and I know that Sony for a fact is going to actually follow suit the same way in one form or the other. So this right here is just a test bed for all these companies. Everything is a test bed. Everything is a trial and error. It's just you got to succeed and attract the right customer in order to gain the advantage. And right now, Sony has the advantage because of the way of its backlog of its library, and you can get to download the games and keep them, which is
The
something
best
that
way
Game
to
Pass.
attract me is to allow me to own my own games, and thankfully the market is we're still in that era, but sadly it won't be forever.
Yeah.
One day you will literally own only the license to the game. You will not have a physical copy of anything one day. Trust me, it's going to be like a registration plate on your vehicle. You don't actually own it. You own the liceness to use it.
Right.
And
Like Steam.
Activision went down this route again too with that whole you guys remember that Spyro trilogy? Remember how
Oh yeah.
only one game on the disc and the rest you had to
They did
download?
it on
It's still
purpose,
like
man.
that.
That's
Yeah,
DRM.
well,
That's
guess
DRM.
what? Now that they delayed it, and now the game's is about to come out. We're getting close now. What if I told you that the game still needs to be downloaded? There's only portions of part.
They did it on purpose, though.
Yeah, they do it on purpose.
You can't really resell it because it's incomplete,
That is
right? So you're more likely to keep it. And two, like if you want to play the game completely as a whole game, you must be connected to the internet. And then for you to do that, they can keep tabs on you. Once you connect to the internet, they can keep tabs on you. That's their gateway into your home.
Exactly.
They'll tell you what you've been watching.
That's
No wonder
beautiful.
that Microsoft send ads to the dashboard based on what you've been watching on Mixer or YouTube. They know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
So they target you with
Your
ads
phone will listen to you and
specifically
give you ads
to
based
what
on
you've
that.
been doing.
Not to mention they very well could have delayed it, to wait for the backlash to die down.
Facts.
Yeah.
I feel like the
it.
backlash is going to be worse now because they
LA
made
Noir
it seem like it was to put everything in the one disc, but even with the delay, it's still going to be the same way.
Dude, LA Noir launched on, the remaster.
Yeah.
That can fit on a Blu-ray disc. Easy. This ain't the DVD era.
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
But
It fit on one DVD.
You know how many gigabytes of data are on the discs? You'll laugh.
Right.
6 gigabytes on the Xbox One disc and on the PlayStation 4 disc. You have to download the rest of the game.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's sad, man.
Go
So
down.
they're giving you a key. So the disc is just a key.
Right.
That's pretty much where it's going.
And I think after the Star Wars debacle, I think a lot of these developers are starting to learn that they might come out and say something very blatant that will piss off the gaming community, and then things will get quiet or they'll delay it or whatever the case may be. And it dies down, and then they'll come right back and throw the shit back in that they were trying in the first place. So now I think these developers are learning that if it doesn't work the first time, whatever it is they're trying to get through to everybody, just lay low for a little while and then come back and try to do it again and just don't say anything about it.
Right.
You know what? No, Nintendo Switch has its faults. But this is why I was laughing at everybody that was criticizing it, saying, they can't fit the games on cartridge. You have to download the rest. But you got a full Blu-ray disc that they're not even filling up, and you got to download the rest.
Yep.
At least Nintendo Switch has got an excuse. What's your Blu-ray excuse? They're doing it to you on purpose. But with the Switch, it literally is a storage issue. Do you know what I'm saying?
Did you hear about Prima Guides or Game Guides closing down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks, man.
But who's buying them nowadays, though, man?
Nobody's buying them.
You can get game guides for free on the internet. IGN got guides for free. Why would you buy it? No wonder they get out of business.
Yeah.
YouTube killed it pretty much. You might as well say YouTube killed it because you got a lot of YouTubers who make their channels based off of just showing you how to do stuff.
Selling stuff on paper is going away. They don't even put any booklets in the games you buy anymore.
Yeah.
I used to buy those, buy the game, come home, read it, then play the game. That's over.
The trees will be happy.
Cheap books.
The trees.
From the instruction standpoints, I don't need those. From the instruction standpoint, I mean, I prefer the instruction booklet be built into the game.
No, yeah, but it would have like stuff on the story and stuff like that. It had like cool art.
Yeah, but think of the trees. We don't need to cut down any more trees. We need oxygen. The trees provide oxygen. I'm eco-friendly. Listen, let me say this. If you didn't have trees on this earth, you'd be dead.
Yeah.
So we want the trees. We need them. If you can find a way of not cutting down no more trees, I'm all for it, because trust me, you don't know how necessary trees are for oxygen.
Yeah, but you know these companies aren't doing this to cut down. They ain't trying to save the environment. It just saves them money.
Yeah, but at the same time, as a consequence of them being greedy bastards, the trees are happy.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not one of these, like, I don't put my plastics and my tins in separate. Fuck it. That's for the bin people to sort out, the trash people.
How dare you, sir?
No. But I tell you what, when it comes to like things that you need to sustain this planet, like I'm all for preserving them.
Yeah.
Where I live, you got to do that. You get fined.
Well, they can't listen. They only fine you if they find you. They can't find you. They can't find you. If I never
the garbage people snitch on you, fam.
Listen, I ain't never been to court because I ain't never been caught. Who's gonna snitch on you? Who's snitching on you? The garbage men ain't there watching.
Yeah, they snitch.
That's true.
Listen, like these people at this house didn't put.
How do they know? How do they know it's come from you?
Because they come to your house.
No, in the UK, it don't work like that. In the UK, everyone puts their bins out together on the main road. They don't come to your house in the UK. They collect it collectively. You got to put it out there for them.
When I used to live in like a big building in New York City, it was like that. But now I have like a house in the suburbs and stuff, and now it's different.
No, you got to do your own shit in this country.
That's true. Let me give you a little recap, Mej, and I'll get on to
Oh, thank you.
I know you were missed there. Okay, so a YouTuber by the name of Shirrako, whatever his name was. He was banned on Red Dead Redemption 2 because he literally punched a feminist in the game.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, you can't punch a feminist in a game, but Logan Paul can post dead bodies. All right.
There you go.
and YouTube, and after posting those bodies, YouTube is giving him acting, like some episodes. Like YouTube are funding his acting career.
Yeah, Red, yeah, that is true.
Yeah, it's so stupid, man.
It's crazy. Gaming journal. Oh, we didn't go over that one, so I'm saving that one. Activision is not happy with Destiny sales.
They can never have enough money.
Haven't we done all of this already? Why do I feel like Groundhog Day here?
Exactly.
I'm getting the cliff notes right quick.
Yeah, he's getting.
All right, he's doing it for your benefit. Okay. All right, wake me up then. Wake me up when you finish.
Now we could run through it. Go ahead, Ryan. Run through it real fast.
All right, we already talked about that. You already heard us talk about the chart, so that's nothing new. Sony has 50 over 50% of the market when it comes to the whole streaming thing. So we talked about that. You already knew. I already talked about Spyro. Did I go through the event for you for XO18s? That's supposedly leaked.
Oh, is it leaked?
Supposedly it's leaked. What's supposedly going to be there is the Division 2,
Trash.
Crackdown 3, Kingdom Hearts 3,
Trash.
Ori and the Will of the Wisp.
Okay.
You have some stuff they're going to do for Game Pass. Shadow of the Tomb Raider update. Basically, they're going to talk about the DLC, I guess. State of Decay 2 update, Sea of Thieves update,
Bro,
Mouse and Keyboard Games.
Yeah. I don't even want to hear the rest, bro. Let's just go.
Updates for Forza, updates for original backwards compatible games, Battletoads first look.
No. Those are wishful thinking. These are what the fans want. That's not what's going to be there. Battletoads. It might be there, but that's not Microsoft saying that. That's the fans hoping.
Yeah, that's a hopeful fan leak and shit.
That the ones that are not confirmed to be there is Halo Infinite and Playground Games.
Nothing on the Cuphead DLC.
No, sir.
No. Oh my god! All right.
No update for Cuphead.
Let's move on.
I think the most interesting part of this is probably what they had planned with Game Pass. Probably introducing different tiers of Game Pass where you get,
Oh, that's gonna happen. That's a given.
Oh, what? That it comes with like Xbox Live or something?
There'll be plenty of tiers. Don't worry. The
or we can get for a limited time only more controllers.
Hey, man.
No, I'm joking. I ain't ripping. I want them to have a good show, man. Seriously, I do.
No, I want them too. I want it. I do as well. I
hope that leak is fake, like the PS5.
Foxy, more than anybody else in this damn panel. I want something, man. I want
Xbox to be great, man. I want some heat.
Make Xbox great again. There you go.
Facts.
Make Xbox great again. But sometimes we can't
make it great. Hey, Ryan. What? Excuse me. We can't make it great because it's made in China.
Oh, man. Hey, does that mean that they're gonna have to start paying tariffs on Xboxes now? What's going on?
Oh shit!
I don't know, man. All I know is this, man.
What's this 9% entertainment tax going on in Chicago that I hear about?
Oh god damn, bro! God,
what the hell? This is why America got too many different laws for states, boy. So people in New York don't have to worry about no entertainment tax, but people in Chicago.
Wait, there's a tax for huh?
You gotta pay entertainment tax. So if you get
what if you
game,
like buy a game or something?
Streaming, anything to do with streaming or services like Game Pass, you'd have to pay 9%.
Oh wow!
PlayStation Now, you'd have to pay 9% because those are services. So on the internet, you got to pay 9%. So any kind of services that you're receiving, there's a tax in Chicago, 9%.
That's crazy. They really killing them over there.
It's crazy indeed.
It's bad. It's bad enough, right, that people are being shot in Chicago, but they got to pay 9% on top of the shootings.
That's why they shooting, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, 9%, bro. Like, are you serious?
Yeah, man. Yeah. But I mean, that's how it is all over America. Different states have different taxes.
If you smile in Chicago, you get fined 9%.
Bro, but what if
you entertain?
What if Foxy? But what if I had to buy me some food, man? Like, god damn.
That doesn't entertain you, so you're good.
if you buy Kool-Aid for $1, you still got to pay 9% because when you go to the judge, why you shouldn't pay? The judge Russell Crowe's gonna turn up in a gladiator uniform, say, "Are you not entertained?"
Oh my god.
Yo. Hey, we got a super chat. We got a super chat by Harry Heck. Subservices is side revenues for most corps. When I look on day one, low quality and high quality games as MS publisher have put on Game Pass. Sony doesn't put PSN now on such a high pedestal. Yeah, which is true. Sony doesn't really
They don't even promote it.
Sony don't even emphasize on it. So, but the thing is, this is the difference, Harry Heck. Microsoft right now, the Xbox division, not Microsoft, Xbox gaming division right now doesn't have the best marketing strategy in terms of, bringing people to their ecosystem. So they have to pull out all the stops in marketing in order to get people to come to their product. This is why they're making Game Pass so attractive for everybody to afford it. And that's where Sony doesn't really care for it much. They'll say that they have this, but they won't really emphasize on it because they have a backbone. They have an ecosystem where everybody's flocking to. They have the PS4, the PS4 Pro, and tons of new exclusives that are bundled up with their systems. Microsoft, on the other hand, really doesn't have many exclusives, but it does have third-party games, and that's it.
Okay. Here's a next topic here. Gaming journalist calls Diablo fans entitled crybabies for not loving the new Diablo Immortal mobile game. Now, when that game was first shown, one person in the crowd legit asked him, like when they was on stage, he was like, "Is this a joke? Like, this is an April Fool's joke?" He's like, "No, sir, this is a legit game." So, what y'all gotta say about that?
I got a lot on this, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit back and listen to this one. My reaction will be the shortest. It flew over my head. I was like, don't even really, know anything about Diablo. So when I heard about this situation, when they introduced that mobile shit, it kind of just went over my head until, I kind of watched it a couple of times and I ended up falling on my back, laughing about that shit. They really fucked them over, bringing all them people there that paid to come to this event to introduce a mobile phone to them.
Oh my god. Listen, man, as a PC guy, here's why people are mad. Okay, here's why people are mad. It's not that you're releasing a mobile game, because you release a mobile game, like hundreds are released every month, basically. Like nobody cares. That's not the point. The point is that this was announced at BlizzCon, which is an event for the hardcore of the hardcore. Like going to BlizzCon is not $10. Like you're spending thousands of dollars to get to BlizzCon for hotel, for travel, and just for the ticket to be there. And when they hype you up and tell you, "Yo, we got major Diablo news at BlizzCon," and you paid all this cash to be there, and you're in the crowd and you're ready to be blown away, and these motherfuckers pull out a mobile game, of course you upset. Of course you mad. You brought me out here to tell me you dropping a mobile game?
Yeah, but man,
when they could have done it in a damn live stream.
That could have been a tweet, bro. That could have been a tweet.
You didn't have to shit on your main thing.
Everyone's got a cell phone, they said.
Bro, that's ridiculous, bro. You did not bring me out here for a mobile game. Nah, man. I would have been upset too. Like,
you guys took the words right out of my mouth.
Like, it's not about the mobile game. It's about you. It's about the bait and switch.
The integrity, damn it, the integrity.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Can you imagine going out to PSX and going out there and then they introduce a game like, God of War on mobile? Spending a couple $1,000 to get out there?
I'll be pissed. I'll be pissed too. So that whole entitlement crybaby bullshit that they came out with, listen, man. We are the consumers. We pay for your product.
What's going on here? Hey, we got over 130 people watch. Hit that like button, people. Hit that like button.
Hit that like button. I don't want to start I don't want to start threatening people. Hit that like button.
But it's just like everybody else has been stating, man. You go to a show to actually be wowed, to actually give support because you're a consumer. You're supporting the brand. You're supporting the practices behind it, right? So why would you try to kill your fan base off by making such a mundane release when it could have been so easily? Now, Blizzard did state it that they're working on Diablo 4 for PC. They haven't, made any other statements other than just that. But it's just the simple emphasis of the situation. You guys made a big press conference for a freaking mobile game. People are gonna feel pissed off. It's just like going to a League of Legends convention, right? You go in, you pay your tickets, and then when you sit down to see the players play, they're not there. It's literally empty. So you're gonna feel pissed off. You're gonna feel like you've been bamboozled. So I don't get the point about calling everybody entitled crybabies, because without these entitled crybabies, you wouldn't have a company like Blizzard or Activision with us entitled crybabies. So you can take that entitled crybaby vernacular, shine it up, and shove it up where the sun don't shine. Plain and simple.
Well, see, now I have a problem. I'm going to be a crybaby. You guys took all the words out of my mouth, so now what the hell am I supposed to say?
Say something, man. Let it out, sis.
No, I agree with you guys. For them to call people crybabies, and like you guys said, to bring somebody all the way there to put it on a mobile app.
Exactly.
That's bullshit. It's just bullshit. Man, I'd have tore that shit up. I'd have tore that place up. I want my money back now. I want my money back now. Because that's not right. That's not right. You can't do that. You know, like you said, we're consumers at the end of the day, and we deserve better than that.
But the worst thing is, even after doing that, just a day later or 2 days later, they doubled down saying they've got even more mobile games in the works.
I mean, that's what these new phones. It makes sense, though. They're going that route. All these new phones, there's like, going to be dedicated.
Yeah, but as if it wasn't bad enough. Like, you already smacked them in the face for wet sock real hard.
Yeah.
You beat them hard with a broom.
That is true.
They're they're still suffering from their wounds. And 2 days later, they're not even healed yet, and you tell them, but there's more coming, more beatings coming.
That's why we as consumers, we got to speak with the wallet.
Yep. And then on top of that, I mean, I understand the whole emphasis of announcing a mobile game, because let's face it, people, there are a lot of people with mobile phones on the planet. There's no denying that market is flourishing. But at the same time, you still have people that are still enthusiasts to the PC platform and to the console platform. And doing this type of practices, you're literally telling them to go off themselves for no reason. And that's where I find it wrong.
This is how Wii U gamers must have felt then. When every time Nintendo were teasing something and the Wii U gamers were getting excited, it ended up being a 3DS game. It's true, though, isn't it? But that did happen a lot, though. Nintendo would tease something, then the Direct would turn up, and it would be about 3DS. It's not for the Wii U.
See, but you just mentioned you made it sound like Nintendo has a history of this. Does this BlizzCon have a history of pulling shit like that?
No, BlizzCon always comes with the heat.
They've seen the money. I think they've had a taste of mobile money.
Yep. And you gotta understand, man. Yo, these Tencent makes a crap load of money off of mobile games. Like, the thing is that all these companies follow the trend that is really up and rising. And when you do stuff like that, at least be genuine. Don't just go, hey, here's the plate. It has a load of stuff, but it's gonna taste bad for you. I don't wanna play with a load of bad stuff to eat. I want my damn fine, nice juicy T-bone steak with some garlic mashed potatoes and some good vegetables on the side. I don't want no damn fucking $2 corner store food. Nah, man, I want my food, man.
I want you to buy the mashed potatoes. The garlic and the vegetables is like $1 extra. If you want the seasons, it's $2 more.
But I'm paying for it, so I feel that the necessity to say what I want, because at the
end of the day, you sound entitled, dog.
Nah, I don't sound entitled, because I'm paying you to cook me my damn plate, man. So I gotta complain about something.
Hey, it's funny that you say that, Carlos, because that's how I had used to describe the disparity between the games on the Xbox platform and the PlayStation platform. That people over here on the PlayStation platform is eating and they getting full, you know, and over there on the Xbox side, they ribs showing and they looking over at Phil Smith like,
oh man,
he up here giving him a microwave, you know, super Lucky's Tail burrito. Here, you want this? You don't want that single player shit they eating over there on the Sony side. That shit ain't gonna be ready for 3 years. Here, take this. You know, here, take this State of Decay pot pie. You know, eat this shit. You know.
You know, I
just got a quick question. I'd like to know what's up with those dislikes all of a sudden. They just popped out of nowhere.
Oh man,
what troll do we have in here? Somebody need a cyber whooping?
We don't have no trolls. It's just we got.
Now, look, I don't mean this in a bad way. But with all the shit that, you know, Ryan said that he get in the comment section or something like that, you know,
I think I know who it was because somebody.
Yo, not for nothing. A lot of people don't like Ryan for some reason.
They don't.
They'll make 12 sock accounts just to leave 12 dislikes.
I know. I have one person.
You know, out of all the YouTubers that I'm friends with, you know, Ryan, you seem to have the biggest bullseye on your back,
bro. It's sock accounts, man.
No, I think I.
Well, we love
the
haters.
I think I know who did it. Somebody popped it.
Ryan, they're your biggest fans.
And they are. Hey, listen, you may
tune in.
Hey, but the way I look at it, I always say another satisfied customer.
Hi, haters. I see you.
Oh Lord, let's get to these specifications.
Oh yes, this is what I've been waiting for.
Well, now wait a minute. Let me get my thing on BlizzCon. Anybody who these people are moist. They're moist. You don't deserve nothing but an ass kicking. But Blizzard did not come to your house. They didn't put a hex on your sorry consumer ass and have you fly, drive, take a subway, take Greyhound.
Great, don't do it.
Because you think you deserve something. The only thing you deserve is
don't do it, bro. Don't do it. The blowback is gonna be tremendous. Don't do it.
And I know
bang.
They entitled, right, Craig?
No, they may not have exactly lied. I know that's where you're going with that, but they wasn't transparent either.
Well, that's not okay. No company, you name me a company that's transparent.
Craig, you a dead man
Craig,
walking.
You really taking Blizzard's side on this? You kidding, right?
You a dead man walking, boy.
I mean, these people crack me up. They went out there like, oh no, I flew out here. I stayed in a hotel. You better give me something. I would have came off that stage and just whooped their asses in front of the world. It would have been viral.
Shit, he would have been.
What's that called? What do the kids call it? Going viral. You're dealing with a group of people who got trophies for participating.
If that dude would have jumped off that stage and gave me the opportunity to whoop his ass, I would have went home vindicated from all the money that I spent to come out there.
I would have walked off the stage and I would have hit those people in their throats. Like nobody made you come here. It would be like the guy who's doing Star Citizen. Everybody knows that game is in beta. Everybody knows it went to CitizenCon. Everybody knows. And then somebody saying, oh, this is a joke. I want a release date on this game. I flew all the way over here on the SST Concorde. Shut up.
Craig.
Craig, cancel.
Craig,
fuck out of here.
Craig, while the time Star Citizen comes out, while the time that game actually does release Star Citizen, we will be in the space age.
Well, we probably will be. But
no.
Yeah, we probably be in Mars by that time.
No, look. If Sony were to say they were going to do a big PlayStation reveal, and then I fly all the way out to California and they introduce a PlayStation wristwatch, I am going to be mad as fuck.
Why? They didn't make you go.
No, but they lured me in there.
Oh my god!
What if you go to PSX next year and when you pay your money and you sit down and if Stormy Daniels turns up and does a
oh my
down.
God! Yo, she better turn.
It sounds like these DC fans when they expected their movies to be as good as Marvel. It's like, what are you expecting? You're fucking DC. You know, they're not going to be as good.
Hey, I can vouch for
at the end of the day, you don't deserve nothing but ass kicked.
I can
That's
vouch
it.
for DC. DC makes some decent ass animated movies.
I was gonna say that.
They make the best animated
Yeah,
movies.
well, yeah, animation.
Shit.
Nobody deserves.
Marvel's animated movies, they suck.
Look, Blizzard. Well, it's okay.
That's
They
true.
have $1 billion
That's
franchises.
sad though. Like
Blizzard,
it's the exact opposite. Like DC shines in fucking animated films, while Marvel shines in.
Yeah, but that's not where the money's at,
that's not where
unfortunately.
their money is. But yeah, they do shine. They can give them credit.
They are good though. They're very good.
But at the end of the day, Blizzard did not make people go. Blizzard did. These people had the expectation.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
the ones that
I
the
agree.
Yo,
It's
Craig,
not
you sound
Blizzard's
crazy right now,
fault.
dog.
How many people would have came if they would have said, just show up? The doors will be open. They used the word Diablo to bring people out there.
Yeah, but
still,
but I agree with Craig in a way. Like, it is terrible and disappointing if you're someone that paid money to go out there and make an event of it, and then it ends up being a mobile game. But nobody from Blizzard took you from your house and forced you to book a ticket and go there.
Yeah, you did that on your own.
If you fall for the BS, that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you shouldn't have. You should have just watched it on whatever TV or whatever.
I don't know, because I would like to see a PSX at least once, because Thrash said even though what we saw was boring on TV, he said it was pretty cool out there. I'd love to go out to a PSX.
That was an event that was obviously catered towards more to the people who were there than the people. That one was
a lot of the times when you go somewhere, like when you go to a fight or a game, it's not about watching the game or the fight. Like, you're gonna get a better viewing experience at home. But when you're in the building, the energy, it makes it completely different. It makes the feeling completely different. You're surrounded by a bunch of people who love what you love, and it just feels great.
But no, you know what it reminds me of? The people who used to watch and they would buy Floyd Mayweather's pay-per-views. And if you watched him fight, you knew he fights a
boring fight.
Yeah, and if it is not his fault that you spend money on the pay-per-view and then get mad and say, well, he's supposed to go out there and hit everybody like Mike Tyson.
No, I agree with you on that one. But the
Floyd
Mayweather doesn't promise an exciting fight.
No, and Blizzard did the same thing. It's not their fault that those dumbasses went out there and said, well, we're going to get Diablo 4, and we're in their hotel rooms chubbing themselves up, and then they got what they got.
Hey, man, listen, bro. They could say that, and you could think that, but these are the people that keep these people employed and put money in their pockets. And if they want to screw those people over, that's fine, because they're not going to be there next year.
Well, that's fine. It's just like that guy at Insomniac, and when they added the puddles into the game, they trolled everybody.
That was funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and they just got trolled. I mean, my God, they don't owe you nothing. You get an ass whooping. That's what I mean. You can expect that. That will be on my little card. Expect an ass whooping at this event. And then when you walk in there, whack.
Hey, man, when them sales figures ain't there and Activision talking about it ain't meeting expectations. Hey, we don't owe you nothing.
That's part of it. That is part of it. But those guys are bankrolling. But how long has Blizzard been in business? Just the company. They used to make coin-operated video games.
Do you know the problem? They make too many promises to their shareholders. So when they can't come up with the goods, they have to come up with all this kind of lame, disappointing statements that we hear as the gamer, like it's our fault for not supporting the game. No, it's your fault for taking too much investment and not being able to make good on it.
Well, that's partly true. Yeah, you got to make a good product. People will come. I mean, Rockstar Games did Grand Theft Auto. I'm sure it's serendipity. They didn't expect Grand Theft Auto 5's online to do what it's doing. That's serendipity. I mean, they thought it would be good, but probably not on this level. That game's made $1 gazillion. They could build their own space program with the money that they made from Grand Theft Auto 5. But it's just got a group of people. It's not everybody. There's just a certain group of people who feel entitled to having stuff. Okay, they just do. You said the game was going to come out October 25th, and you delayed it to November 19th. How dare you? You will rule the day that you didn't put this game on the Xbox X. I mean, we can go on and on and on. There's a sense of entitlement, but this is coming from a group of people who got trophies for just showing up. They could suck. I mean, you could suck to high heaven. You could just suck, but you got a trophy for participating.
Hey, yo, Craig, I got a question.
Yo,
where you from, bro? You got like $1,000 accent, dog.
Oh shit.
Ohio.
Yo, the other day on Titanfall's show, he said movie theater. I'm like, holy shit.
Well, that's what it's called.
Craig, he's saying that your actions only worth $1,000.
I've never heard anybody say theater though.
Oh, what's it called?
Craig, he's devaluing $1,000. That's all.
Hey man, that's a lot of money, dog. That's a BlizzCon ticket.
That is new BlizzCon.
That's cheap street, man. He wants to hear he's got $1 million voice. Not
well,
hey, man, I was gonna say 10, man. I was paying him a compliment, sir.
Hey, well, no, that's
I'm messing.
Yeah, I know. Hey, look, that's a deductible for your doctor bill you get from coming to my event expecting something but an ass. Well, you're gonna get an ass. You know,
hey man, but answer my question though.
What is that?
I said, where you from?
I said Ohio.
Oh, my bad. I didn't hear you. My bad.
Yeah. Ohio.
Shout out to Mia Dixon.
Ohio.
He announced Star Citizen Mobile, though. That was his first one. And the second one, he said, BlizzCon costs $55 just to watch the stream, Greg.
Well, that, again, and nobody's forcing your dumb ass to do it.
Yeah. Nah, you didn't have to pay to watch the stream. It was like a digital ticket where you got like extra side stuff.
Oh, like food? I mean, they're going to put food in the...
I guess you got like behind the scenes stuff. I don't know. I don't pay for that garbage.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's my point. Yeah,
you know, the behind the scenes stuff ends up on YouTube like a week later.
Yeah, for sure.
Nah, they closed this and that.
Craig, you're off the hook tonight. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You're crazy.
Craig drinking more Henny than me tonight. Right
hey, Jack and Coke, baby.
Blame it on the goose. Blame it on the Henny.
I'm drinking Henny right now.
I can't remember what show it was, but I saw a TV comedy show one time where this guy was trying to show off that he can pay, like, you know, the VIP section of a club.
Yeah.
So he pays for this VIP. He has to wrangle with the guy, like try and bargain with him because he hasn't got much money. The guy goes, "All right, I'll let you have it for 200, but it's meant to be 500." Yeah. So he gives the guy the 200. The guy removes the rope and lets him sit in the VIP section, and then his mates walk in and sit right next to him on the same seats. The only thing that separates them is a rope. So you pay £200 to sit in the same seats.
To be beside the rope.
Damn.
Let's get into these specifications and let's get into the panel question. Let's wrap it up, shall we?
Let's get it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so moment we've been waiting for. I really should have opened the show with this, but hey, you're in out of this. PS5 specifications.
Yes.
According to the leak, the PS5 makes it a little bigger for me, actually. Let me just screenshot here. Okay.
I need to get you some reading glasses there, son. You're getting old on me already.
Ryan getting old, boy.
Not getting any younger.
Yeah.
Much. Definitely not getting any younger.
Bifocals.
All right. All right. So according to the leak, the PS5 will have a custom 7 nanometer APU with the Zen 2 processor and Navi architecture with custom ray tracing extensions and a dedicated hardware for a variety of post-processing of buffers, DLSS, TAA, and MSAA up to max 8K resolution, 11.2 teraflops, which can go to 22.4 teraflops at half precision. I guess they're talking about the half float technique.
Speak English. What?
Damn, bro.
140 stream processors, 16 gigabytes GDR5 RAM with 14 available for developers and games, vapor chamber cooling, ultra Blu-ray disc, XL disc, which is what I covered on the channel. So that's supposedly going to be with it. 2 terabyte hard drive for standard ones for the standard model. VR capability built in with dedicated hardware for temporal reprojection, aliasing, and second screen frame buffers. Can bypass original PSVR breakout box if used. Forward-facing HDMI 2.1 port for PSVR 2, as well as current VR headsets, compatible with all VR headsets, basically. The last one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Front-facing USB and rear-facing USB 3.1 ports with power delivery. AC power cord, obviously, no power brick is built in. HDMI 2.1 output, gigabyte internet, aux and optical ports in the back. Obviously, that's by default. Let's see here. Pretty much you already know that. You get a single DualShock 5 controller. We don't know what it looks like though. PSVR headset 2 It says, well, let's see. Inside out. Okay, so that's inside and out tracking with the PSVR 2 as well, and it's fully compatible with all PS4 games. That's what we got so far.
Okay, so can I start off a little bit? Now, with all this implementation of
There's
tech,
only one thing I had to ask about that though. Remember correctly, where it says the I forgot what it stands for, but the DLSS isn't that for NVIDIA?
Say that again.
Yep.
It's not a NVIDIA exclusive. It's just that they're the only ones that have it right now. It's not like they have a patent on there.
Yeah, I don't even hear anything about AMD getting that though.
That's because they don't have any high-end graphics cards right now. But if they were to come out with some, they would have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guys know.
So with all this being, put out in the podcast tonight, my whole concern is the pricing. That's where my concern is at. Because goddamn,
$600 not in my jaw drop. I'm like, I don't think it'd be $600.
Bro, they would sell it at a loss even at $600.
I would still buy it.
No, it would be a steal at $600. They would be losing a shitload of money.
Sick humor. I agree with something that he said. He said he would prefer the console cost $500 or $600 because that they didn't take any shortcuts. If they launch this console at $400, there's going to be a compromise somewhere. They're going to have to cut a corner somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd rather whatever it is. I said it. If the console is $500-$600 and the PSVR 2 is $400-$500, I'm prepared to drop that rack day one. I'm prepared to drop $1,000 on it.
Who else would be? The general consumer would not be.
Nah, not me, bro.
To me, that's why, and that plays into why I think the console is going to launch in November of 2019, because people like me are going to buy it first, and then they might be looking to catch the Christmas crowd second.
If they were to sell this at a high price, they could still get the hardcore and then put out a streaming service so you could play the new games on your PS4. Then that would make sense to me.
If it comes out in November 2019, I guarantee you this, and you can bookmark this, there's going to be a shortage, so there won't be no Christmas wave. You'll be waiting until January for new shipments.
Oh, I'll be pre-ordering mine 5 minutes after I learn about it.
Yeah, but I'm saying the rest of them, the people who aren't the day one, adopters, they all have to wait for their order because there's going to be shortages for PS5.
So I think my projection for that release date is somewhere around 2020, like mid. They'll announce the specs and the tech for the console early to maybe late November, December, and then by middle of 2020 they'll do an actual. We'll go to pre-orders. We'll do this, and then the holidays of 2020 is when they're actually going to have a substantial amount of consoles for the general public. Because
I think the region's going to get it first. People say Japan. I don't think Japan.
No, it'll be the United States. That's where the buying power is.
It's weakest in Japan, so it won't be there first. If it comes anywhere first, it will be the States.
Yeah.
And another reason why I believe they could launch it in November of 2019. I said it before, to capture the Christmas crowd, and that is also the time of year when people will spend money, even if it's not on themselves.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you have to have enough units ready, and there's going to be component shortages. And even if there isn't component shortages, and there's plenty to go around for every manufacturer, Sony are going to artificially invoke shortages to get this console some buzz.
That's a Nintendo tactic.
I don't think they're going to.
Sony's done that. Sony's done that with PlayStation VR. Sony's done it with loads of times. They haven't been blatant with it. That's why you haven't had to wait long. Even PS4 Pro was sold out, and you had to wait 3 weeks for new models to come in.
I have some questions.
But I think no matter what time of year they launched, no matter when they launched this, there is going to be a shortage, just like you said, whether they create this shortage deliberately or whether it actually happens because they can't keep up with demand. I think it's going to be a shortage regardless of when they launch it.
Exactly. So the November lot, if it does launch November 2019, which is feasible, I mean, I don't think so, but if it does, then the early adopter will get it first because that's their Sony's loyalists, right? But they're only going to be able to produce between more than a few million. They'll probably be able to produce 5 million max, right? And then there's going to be like a month of waiting, like 4 or 5 weeks of waiting for trickling of shipments to come in. And then by January, February, March of 2020, there won't be a problem. Everyone will be able to get one.
Ryan, what'd you say were the specs on the CPU and the GPU?
CPU and the GPU. We know they're using the APU Zen 2.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, with custom ratio. That's what we got. No talks to GPU.
Okay, so this is not a real leak, dude. And here's
7
why.
nanometer chip. Yeah.
And here's why. AMD doesn't even sell a GPU currently that has as many teraflops as what you mentioned. What'd you say, like 11 something? They don't even have that out in the PC market right now.
11.2.
They're not going to drop something inside of a console, mind you. To put that inside of an APU, which is a GPU and a CPU, for those that don't know, in one die, and have enough cooling to keep it cool in a small box, it's simply not possible, especially at the price of less than 500. Let's say max 500. Even if it came out in 2020, it's simply not possible. These specs,
I don't think it's going to be.
These specs are in these specs. I'm calling it right now. Remember this. These specs are impossible. It's not happening.
They're definitely here. That's why I'm looking at it like, and I put that in the chat. It's like, are they even legit?
Yeah, and the RAM would not be GDDR5. It would be GDDR5X. It's
5X.
5X, yeah, or it could be HBM2. It would not be GDDR5. These specs are not. It's not. It's not happening.
In there it says 6, not 5. GDDR6.
Oh, I heard Ryan say 5. My bad.
6.
Is it 6?
It's not 5. It's 6. But I said that as well.
Well, it would be 6 or HBM2.
I said if they don't use GDDR6, they're going to use what you said, GDDR5X.
Yeah. But AMD and their most recent high-end GPUs, they use a different format called HBM2 Plus. And that I see would be feasible as well. But
that's
like I said, yeah, it's very expensive. That's what I'm saying. Like for the price that you want to sell a console for, and for the amount of cooling that would require a CPU of that power and GPU of that power to be put inside a small box, it just doesn't make sense to me that you would put that in a console, especially in the next coming years, and especially at that price.
All that matters to me is if they do sell it for $399. All that matters to me is that the games are 60 frames per second. I don't care about native 4K.
Yeah. I don't care about resolution. It's more about frame rate to me.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I will say when it comes to the frame, I think when they're gonna bring the power, okay, but they're gonna have prioritize to run at a higher frame rate, of course, and I honestly believe that. I think it's going to be a higher frame rate. Okay. I also think when it comes to the VR, it's going to be much better than it is right now. But I also think that it's going to come out 2020. I don't think it's 2019. It's going to be 2020. But I think they're going to bring it. I really do. I don't, they're on a roll now. And if they didn't bring it, they don't want to go back to what happened with the PS3 originally. You know what I'm saying?
We have to remember as well, Sony are not buying parts from AMD that are already available. Sony are working with AMD and funding their own APU. They're working with AMD and they are working with technologies that AMD have and are part funding it. So Sony's going to see a return on this deal as well.
Yeah, but I think they're going to bring it, just like I think they got a lineup already for the games that they're going to do. I mean, I think they're just going to bring it all the way.
I think just because of the VR aspect of it, that this console is going to have a lot of power, because Sony is definitely stressing that they want better frame rates on the VR to eliminate or minimize motion sickness. And and according to Craig's source, they already have games running at 240 frames per second on the next generation console. And we've already seen
sauce, huh? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and so if assuming that's true, we've seen the patent where Sony filed a patent for a VR, local multiplayer, meaning that you can connect 2 wireless headsets to one base, presumably the PS5. So if you've got 2 wireless headsets running games at 240 frames per second simultaneously off of one console, it's got to take a substantial amount of power to do that. I don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that.
Not only that, but with no breakaway box. That breakaway box that comes with the PSVR is bullshit.
Well, if they want to cure motion sickness, that's, I would say cure, but they want to help people overcome it, because that's been reported a whole lot. They knew it would be. You had to be able to run it at that high. That helps you process things normally for the people who are having problems. So whether they go with that, it's we have to wait and see. But yeah, they've got a lot of stuff that they're working on.
Not only that, you know, and as reported by PSVR Frank, I guess there's a company, a Japanese company, working on a lens for the next generation VR that is better than anything out there on the market right now. You know, so I had heard a couple of times that it could possibly be in 4K, what have you. Still, all that kind of stuff has got to have. It's going to need some more power. It's got to.
Yeah.
Well, I just think they're more worried about FPS. If you're getting motion, that's the way you're
and so what I'm saying is for the simple fact that I think they're putting a lot of focus on the VR, I think that is just going to fall into place. That power's also going to, you know, come into play with you know, standard games as well.
Right.
Possibly. Yeah. I mean,
I'm just saying I said before, if they can give me, like, you know, games like God of War as a standard in terms of looks and just give me sharper visuals, you know, better textures and even more detail, I'm fine with that. Like, I'm good with that. You know what I'm saying? If I can get that with 60 frames, I'm more than fine. That's a perfect value right there. But
well, I mean, with this DevCon coming up, the only question I would ask them, I would say, look, damn the specs. Are you all helping AMD build this Navi texture, or is this just a rumor? Can you at least confirm that? You don't have to tell us those.
That's nonsense. That's nonsense.
Yeah. So I mean, again, I'm not saying that they are, they aren't. I'm just saying I would look for clarification. That's what I'm looking for clarification on. I mean, the console. I mean, they're still. I mean, talk about Ghost of Tsushima. Talk about you know, Last of Us Part 2. There's still some, you know, some big hitters coming out next year. You know, and don't worry about PS5. That's what's really surprising me is the most powerful console has never won a generation. It's just, that's a fact. Shout out to Porter Rock for pointing that out. But
although, listen, check this out though. Technically, the PS4 is more powerful than the Xbox One.
Yeah, it is,
and it did change with the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. Yeah. But the PS4 base is more powerful than the Xbox One base. Well, and it definitely did win.
It wasn't going to be, though.
Yeah, it makes the PS4 an outlier, guys. That means it's an outlier.
It is an outlier. Yes, absolutely.
So I read an article that the whole time that they were developing the PS4, Mark Cerny wanted more power, but he didn't want to tell them that in the beginning because he knew they would say no. So he waited until it was time to present it, you know, to the brass, and then tell them that it needs more power. So they were
going with the same deal pretty much as Microsoft was.
Xbox hamstrung themselves when they decided to bundle the Kinect with the Xbox because that took away from the power.
Yeah.
Well, the ESR, their RAM they had was actually faster, but yeah, it was bottlenecking. And that was the end. But Sony's first, I mean, the PS5, my understanding is that it's being spec'd to what their first party devs want. They don't give a rat's ass about third party. It's like whatever. We're if third party developers.
I wouldn't say that, Craig. I wouldn't say that. No, third party devs want the same thing.
Here's a fact. If all these third party developers came out Monday and said we're going to make Christmas trees, then you're going to be stuck with your first party. So you better spec your device to what your first party guys want.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you only need just enough power because if you really want the most power, you're not going to be buying a console.
I agree. I don't disagree with that. Yeah, and again, if they say their first party guys say, here's what we need for our games to do A, B, C, and D. Yeah, that's what they're going to get. They're going to say, okay, make it. They don't. It's not that they don't. I mean, that's what people cracked me up about when they were talking about the that Red Dead game. It's like, okay, do you think Sony wants third-party developer stuff to look better than their first-party developer stuff? Yeah, no, I don't think so. No, it's not that big a deal.
Look, you need to look back in history. Many people said, "Oh, at that price, the PS4 is going to be shit. It's not going to have good graphics compared to the PS3." And then look what Sony's been able to get out of it. So I'm not sure if price and I'm not sure if the bang for buck is going to be an issue.
I disagree with that. Actually, I think the PS4 was very underpowered.
No, I'm talking visually. I'm talking from a visual.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I think those games don't look that good because, especially at 30 frames.
Well, that's a matter of. Well, we're only talking about visuals, not frames. I'm just talking about a picture, not the frames.
I put your picture away.
When the PS3 was a thing, right? When everyone was with the PS3, and we were hearing about the specs for the PS4, the real specs, a lot of people said, I don't expect much improvement in the graphics. But when you look at Uncharted 4 compared to Uncharted 3, or you look at Spider-Man and you look at God of War compared to what you see on the PS3, that's a huge leap for the cheap price that they charge the console. Now, I know some people might not think it's a great leap and it doesn't impress them, but I don't
agree with it.
I was impressed.
But go on, dog. I'm sorry.
I mean, so most of the PS3 titles were 720p at most. It wasn't really that much.
Which was new at the time.
Yeah,
I mean, me personally, I don't think the PS4 was a big leap over the PS3. I really, really don't.
I didn't say it was a big leap. I said the graphics for the price that you paid for the console was impressive enough over the PS3 for the money that Sony charged you. So
I'll agree with that. I thought it was enough.
If they can do it with the PS4, then they can do it with the PS5 because as years have passed since the PS, I mean, 2013. I mean, come on,
long time ago.
Yeah, exactly, and it was already using 2012 components.
Yeah,
not even
2010. Yeah,
2010 components, right, in 2013, right?
Yeah.
So like times moved on. So for the price, you'll get better than what you got with the PS4. Like definitely,
I agree.
You'll get better than what you get with the Pro, definitely. But I already said to people already. Anyway, I'm like you. I'm quite realistic. I said to people, if you didn't buy the Pro, you're going to be more impressed with the PS5.
Yeah.
But those who took the half step are going to be less impressed because they've had half of what to expect already.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, frames per second is going to be improved, but graphically, I just don't know. When you look at a game like Fox was saying, Uncharted, even Lost Legacy and Horizon Zero Dawn and stuff on the Pro, where else? I mean, it's not a whole lot more you can take. Maybe you got better textures, better sound. I mean, they may improve the sound on it, but yeah, graphically, where else are you? Do you have bigger upside with the FPS or bigger upside graphically? That's kind of
There's not much further to go. Like when you jumped from, like PS2 to PS3, that right there was insane. That leap was bananas from 480p to 720 to 1080. Insane. But now from and I just got a 4K TV recently. Like the jump from 1080p to 4K to me is not that crazy.
I agree.
We're not.
When I go back to 1080p, I don't feel like my eyes.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's trash. Like when I went back to regular definition from 1080p, I felt like it looked like straight shit. I don't feel that way going from from 4K to 1080p.
Between 4K and 1080p.
We're getting diminishing returns these days. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have an iPhone from 3 years ago, the new one is not that much better. But if you look at the iPhone from 6 years ago, that's where you see the gigantic leap.
Yeah. Your biggest leap in that tech department is with the tablets. I mean, those are huge differences right now. But overall,
based on what you're saying, we might not see much bigger of a leap until people are ready to move to 8K.
I mean, I think we're going to see the leap in terms of number of NPCs,
physics,
physics, frame rate, like graphically,
and effects.
It's going to be very, very small leaps.
But you're going to get more particle effects and stuff like that. More of what you've got already, but more on the screen at once, and the CPU won't bottleneck so easily.
Exactly.
So you get proper cloth physics and proper hair physics. So the stuff that's been lacking in character models this generation, very few of them, apart from the Tomb Raider team, but you have to use up your budget. See, when you're making games, right, you have to decide what you want to stand out in terms of your budget. If you want the character models to look realistic, something else has to suffer. That might be the landscape, the buildings.
Yeah.
Something has to
draw
suffer.
Distance.
Exactly. It's going to be because you have to work within a budget, not a money budget, but a performance budget as well, right?
Yeah.
So next gen, I expect to see similar graphics to what we see on the PS4 Pro, but just a lot more detailed, higher resolution, better textures. much better lighting effects. But I already said this to people already. You're going to be more impressed if you came from the standard PS4 to the PS5, because at the end of the day, Sony's already shown like half of it already. So is Microsoft.
And also, I think the console itself, the OS and multitasking and stuff like that, will see a gigantic leap.
And it seems like with generations, once you head into the next generation with some of these games being ports, a lot of them look the same. And you don't really, to me, you don't, however big the leap is, you may not see it for a year or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first allotment of games, I think maybe 3 years in, 4 years in, you'll really see everything kind of coming. But that's just, you know,
I think we will see. I think though, there's going to be 1 or 2 games that stand out on next gen, whether it come from Sony's first party, Microsoft's, or a third party. You're going to see a game where the character models are damn near human-like.
Yeah.
You will, because I'll tell you why. If you look at games now on a standard PS4, some of those character models like Kratos, wow, like if that's what they're doing with 1.8 T-flops, right?
Yeah.
With 8, well, not even 8. They're only getting 5 like gigs of RAM for that. Yeah, total for the whole game. Like if they can do that with that little piece of hardware there, imagine what they can do with the PS5 in terms of character models.
Dude, Detroit Become Human looked like real people.
Hey, I'm so glad you said that, because I think
they were human-like, but they didn't look like humans to me.
I think Detroit Become Human is arguably the best game I've ever seen on anything, console, PC, anything.
I would say that.
It's a very good looking game. Yeah, I mean,
but they still look plasticky.
The thing is that you have that uncanny valley where people's eyes look glassy, and like you can tell it's not a person, obviously. And I think you'll always reach that threshold where you can't break that ceiling, you know?
No, but I'm talking about skin textures look like real skin, not the glossy, plasticky look that some of these games
I don't know
have.
if we're going to see that in our lifetime.
No, we will. You know why? I'll tell you why we'll see it. What it is, right? It all comes down to lighting. It's not the amount of triangles you use in your polygons or your graphic technique. It comes down to lighting. And the lighting next gen is going to be a big focus. It's going to be so sophisticated that the way light bounces off the human skin, you're going to see, you know, like we've had glimpses of it already in PS4 games where the light, you can see the light through the ears. You know, the ears when the sun's shining, you can see like the light go through the ears. Like, all right, is it Order 886 does it? Where the character models' ears, when they're facing the sun, you can almost see how the light is going through the ears and making it darker in places. Like more redder, just like our humans are. Like our ears are kind of transparent in a certain way when the light hits it, right? In real life, they're mimicking that in games, right? And that's all to do with lighting, not the amount of polygons you're using, not the amount of graphical power you're pushing into the game. It's about lighting. So if they can get the lighting correct, I can see like skin shaders looking absolutely indistinguishable. The only thing that you will be able to tell that it's not a human is going to be like there's gonna be a roboticness about the character still, compared, because you even see that in top Hollywood movies. You can tell that Spider-Man is CGI, not the actor in the suit. Because if you play video games, you can see the animation slightly off when you see CGI characters in movies, right? So that's what's gonna give it away, and maybe the eyes, because the eyes is that's the trickiest part to get right.
Yeah, they look fake in every game.
I'll tell you what,
it's true.
Talking about Detroit, that big reveal with Alice, and you can see like, you know, the emotion in Carl's face. You know what I'm talking about? I know you know what I'm talking about when you're that big reveal and the emotion on her face. That right there is just a technical achievement by itself.
Yeah,
and
even on the PS3, do you remember Beyond Two Souls?
Yeah.
Do you remember when you were shown the demo, that you were shown a scene where she's been interrogated by a cop? Right? Yeah. Even back then, we were saying that's near photorealistic, and that's a PS3.
Yeah.
You got a point there.
They got a super chat.
Somebody mentioned ray tracing. What do you guys think about that?
It's gonna be a part of the. It will be in there, but it's gonna be very rudimentary. Nothing like the NVIDIA presentation. Nothing like it.
Yeah, because
it's
Craig
going to be
also
implemented. It's going to be implemented, but it's not going to be heavily emphasized because
it's not even called ray tracing. It's called Radeon. Ray tracing works for NVIDIA. He is exclusively working for NVIDIA. I thought it was called Radeon Ray, which is
ray tracing is just like the term. You know what I'm saying?
You can't own that name. That name is for you. Anyone can use the term ray tracing.
Yeah.
I know, but it's like sounds like a man going to work for somebody. You got to hire.
It's like AMD uses a term called simultaneous multi-threading, and Intel uses hyper-threading. It's the same thing, but you call it
same
two
process,
different things.
same name, but the process.
But the same thing, yeah.
But the processes that the actual hardware uses to implement these artifacts or artifacts and how do they produce the image is with different numerations between the polygons, textures, and so forth.
Read that super chat. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
I'll take it. Fernandez stands up in 2021 is more important. Then get all games running native 4K and 60 frames per second. That thing is still up to the game developers, how they want to harvest that raw power out of these boxes. Now, I wanted to take that because, I might be a little bit biased for the next generation, but I think, the better looking games are going to be on the PS5. And I think one of the reasons that the PS5 is going to be the more powerful console of the two is because of the power that's going to be needed to run these VRs the way they want it to run. And I don't think Microsoft is going to go out of their way to try to, put substantially more power into Scarlet after they just, spent all that money developing the X. I just can't see them just like scrapping everything they did and going straight back to the drawing board. I think the next iteration of Scarlet, the traditional console, is going to be, the Xbox One X in disguise with a better processor in it.
You're right. You're absolutely right. They're not going to change the blueprint. They're sticking with that model with the One X. All they're going to do is add to it now.
Yeah. My understanding is their CPU is, for both of them, they're working, I think Phil Spencer has even said they're looking for better AI and NPCs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They feel that if the games get bigger, they need more CPU.
They're going to do that through the cloud, though. What Phil Spencer says about better AI, he's talking about cloud.
Yeah,
I don't buy that till I see it, man.
It starts tomorrow. It starts tomorrow. That's the future starts tomorrow when we see games like Splinter Cell and Fable and things like that. So that's.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm blown away by even the Nintendo Switch sometimes. So I don't care what the PS5 launches. I'm confident that Sony are gonna deliver. Like they always do. You might not get that 10 times leap that you got from PS1 to PS2 and PS2 to PS3. You won't get a 10 times leap. You probably get a 4 times leap.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll still be impressed with it because I'm highly impressed with a lot of these Sony exclusives that I'm seeing on my PlayStation Pro. All of them look gorgeous. I mean, like any one of those games, MLB The Show, Horizon Zero Dawn, Detroit Become Human, God of War, Spider-Man. I could pop in any one of those games and then just sit there in a daze just being amazed by how good those games look.
I ain't gonna lie, if it weren't for Sony's exclusives and my love for them, not the console, I couldn't give a damn about the box. It's just a box. I'm talking about what plays in the box and what's made by one of the greatest world-class studios. That's what I care about. The creative, not the product. I care about the creative.
Bro, if I could play those PS4 games on my PC, I'd play them on my PC.
Exactly. But here's my point, right? If it weren't for Sony exclusives, I probably wouldn't own a PlayStation.
That's exactly why Xbox is in trouble.
I'd be happy with. I'd just be happy owning a Switch. I could easily just roll with the Switch, honestly. But because Sony's got the best exclusives, I just got to have the product. I got to have it.
See, that's why I've been saying all along. That's why people flock to the Sony, because they have those exclusives. It's not about the console. Well, a little bit. You don't want a game running like complete shit either. But they have the exclusives and they have a good product. But the exclusives is where it's at. And that's why even Sony Nintendo comes second, because they got exclusive, but where's Microsoft's?
Nintendo comes second because not only do they have the exclusives, but for the multi-plats that are able to run on it, why wouldn't you want to play the game while you're chilling, relaxing in your bed?
Exactly. And I would have to. Sorry, I only said I'd be only happy rolling with the Switch because that's my second choice in terms of exclusives. Because at the end of the day, if there's no Sony, it has to be Nintendo because you can only count on Nintendo. If there's no Sony, who else can you count on to deliver exclusives?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That if I didn't have a PlayStation, the Nintendo Switch would probably be my primary console.
Yeah, because who can you count on? Who can you count on? Nintendo are focused on delivering quality first party. Whether you like them or not, they're always quality.
Yeah. Now another thing too, if I could like point out a little bit, we talk about the games, but we're also forgetting the fact that Sony has hired a refreshing set of individuals within their first party developing studios. These individuals have also pushed that narrative for these games to look the way they look and to give us that feeling that every time when we turn on this console we are immersed into these games. That's where the biggest difference maker has been for this gen as well. And that's something that was apparent in the 360 era. You had games that were immersive and that you enjoyed the storytelling, you enjoyed the visuals, you enjoyed everything, but most importantly, it was just that first party support that actually made these systems shine the way they shined last gen. This gen, not so much, because due to the fact that not everybody was flocking towards Xbox. They didn't have that many great first party titles. There were only a few that came out that were actually okay, but it wasn't compelling enough to draw the attention towards them. So first party developers and the way they're implementing these visual techniques and just having that liberty and freedom to make these games the way they want to, that's a selling point for any company, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Anybody have anything else they want to talk about? Topics you want to bring up?
Hey, let me throw something at you, Foxy, because I'm gonna present a scenario for you where you can call me crazy. All of y'all can call me crazy. But I made this speculation a couple of weeks ago, but this was based on the possibility of the PSVR 2 launching side by side with the PS5, day and date.
Yeah.
As some of you knew, a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever, the news came out that Guerrilla Games had got a hold of some of the Rainbow Six Siege and brought them over. And everybody was speculating on what they might be working on. And so I was wondering if it was going to be another Killzone with a VR option.
What if it's SOCOM? What if Guerrilla Games are working on SOCOM?
What if they're working on SOCOM with a VR option? I'd do a backflip.
God damn, that would be crazy.
I think the people would probably prefer a Guerrilla produced SOCOM than a new Killzone.
Whatever it is,
because they've been waiting a long time for SOCOM.
Yeah, I want a proper SOCOM, Brian. Like, you really don't understand how much I've been waiting for a SOCOM game since the PS2 days. Like
remember this, Assassin's Creed. Sorry, what's the name? Rainbow Six Siege. That's tactical. SOCOM is tactical.
Yep. And you mix that with a stable online multiplayer, bro. Like, you have the formula for the next best game, especially multiplayer-based game.
Hey, don't forget the VR option.
I don't know for sure. I'm speculating about that. It could be Killzone for a week.
Yo, just imagine, Foxy. Just imagine playing as a Marine, or playing as the actual enemy, or anything, and just the immersive experience through VR. That would be crazy.
Yes,
that would be crazy right there. And if it's speculation, we're not making this as something solidified, but these are just things that come up to the mind when you hear stuff like this. Just the implementation.
I respect the technology, but personally, I don't care if VR exists or doesn't exist.
You don't even have to necessarily use VR. You could still play it through your regular, TV.
Respect the technology though, and people who like it. I respect
I have to thank Sony for the PlayStation VR. Me, myself, I am thankful for Sony for bringing this option to gaming, because before Sony got involved in VR, it was a very expensive hobby. You know, it could cost you anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 to get involved in this, you know, to build a PC, you know, powerful enough to run it, and to buy a $700 headset in the form of the HTC Vive. Now here it is 2 years later. If you're lucky enough on Black Friday and you can catch the PS4 Slim for $200 along with the, you know, VR bundle for $200, you have a gaming console and a VR for $400, less than what an entire headset costs. So I am thankful for Sony for diving into VR, because I think if Sony had not got involved in VR, it would die, because it is like I said, it's a very expensive hobby, and a lot of the games you see on the PC, a lot of them are like these tech demos that they say you see at the PlayStation Store. A lot of the VR games on PC aren't much better than the PlayStation VR. In fact, from what I'm seeing, a lot of these developers would almost be stupid not to bring the game to the PSVR platform, because it's the market leader. They've sold more units than Oculus and Vive combined.
Absolutely. I'm about to buy Tetris. What is it? Tetris what?
Oh, yes. I just bought that. Man, that game, I swear to God, I said I was not going to pay that $35. I broke down and paid it. And man, that game is fun, man. I like it.
I'm a traditionalist. I just like, I'll do portable and TV, but I'm not. You know, my lifestyle doesn't fit for VR.
I mean, I kind of hate VR myself.
It's not for everybody, but I think those who like first-person tactical shooters are missing a real treat with Firewall.
I can imagine that the PlayStation VR Model 2 is going to be amazing, because I've tried the first VR. I tried it before it even was available in the stores. A girl I knew got a review unit, so I tried it at her apartment, and it was out of this world, like a Batman. It was like a Batman in a cave demo type thing, and it was really good. And but I like to buy things that I know I'm going to use often, and if I bought a VR, it'll just be it'll be gimmicky for me, because I'd use it once in a blue moon. It'll be like, remember SingStar?
Yeah.
Like the only time I ever do SingStar is when I go around Christmas to friends and they've got it out and they force me to get involved.
But if you decided to do it though, it's an affordable peripheral. You know, now you know, I think you know what? I think I've said this before. I think if Sony would have been able to launch this PSVR in 2014, I think by now they would have sold 5 million units.
You're almost there. They said they sold over 3.
Yeah, exactly. See, but you know, but keep in mind that, you know, they would be sitting on more than 3 million now if the thing wasn't so expensive when it first came out. I bought it day one for $500.
That's true. Yeah.
I'll get into VR when it literally is just a pair of dark shades you put on, not some big old unit. I'll get into VR when you just put on something that is the normal size of a pair of shades. That's when I'll get into it.
It's gonna be question time before you get there. So
I'll be dead before that happens.
Well, I love VR. I can talk about it all day.
Yeah, you play Creed. I'd be like, you be getting your cardio in for that Creed game. So.
You know, like Google. You know, remember the
Beat Saber. You'll get your cardio in.
Oh yeah, no. I'm getting my cardio in, like Ryan said on Creed. And then see, even before Creed, I was getting my cardio in on a game called Knockout League, and that game, after every match, it shows you up in the corner how many calories you burn. Now Creed took it to the next level because I'm fighting against live opponents, you know, getting my cardio in, talking mad trash. It's just, you know, I was loving it.
These guys can't see my boxing skills.
Let me tell you something. I can get the same experience that you're getting with your VR cardio workout on the Switch. I'll buy that cheap headset crappy thing, right? And I'll get arms.
You talking about Labo?
I'll do no. There's a plastic VR thing. You can slide the Switch in now, right? And it gives you the impression of VR, but it isn't really VR. But I'll get the motion controls and just play arms, and I've got my VR cardio thing as well.
No, nothing wrong with that, because my thing is, you know, what better way to get cardio in and have fun doing it? Because, you know, I work out.
I'm joking,
a treadmill.
Man.
But even if you were serious, I still wouldn't knock you for it, because in my case, since I work out,
you know what? I can't say publicly what I do for my cardio, but it ain't playing video games.
So you power fuck.
I go to work. I go to work for my cardio.
Oh god.
I go to work. No, and I'm not talking about a job, job. J-O-B. I'm talking about. I can't even go into detail because it's a game thing. But let me tell you something. It involves the opposite sex. That's how I get my cardio.
Yeah, I already said it. My closing thing right quick is personally, I think that Tetris is the greatest game ever invented. I think it's the perfect video game, and I'll fight you for that fact because it's a fact. And the fact that there's a Tetris VR, I'm super excited for it, and I'm gonna bust out that old PSVR just to play this new Tetris on PSVR, and I'm so happy for it. And that's all.
I think I might even do a little quick Tetris stream like I did last night. I did one last night at midnight. I might do another one
for the new joint. For the new joint.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta subscribe to your channel, dog.
Oh,
you know what? I love my cardio so much. I'm saving up for one of those sex robots.
Hey man, my hashtag all year has been trade in your girl 2018.
Because they don't answer back. I never had one answer me back. No, I'm only joking.
Yeah, that's exactly why they're great.
No, I'm joking.
I think we need to talk about our relation. I unplugged you. Shut up.
Hey, Ryan.
Yo.
Do you mind if I put a link to my channel in here so Mez can sub to my channel?
Yeah, go ahead. Do that.
Okay, 1 second. Let me find my channel real quick.
Yo, Ryan. Remember what we was talking about the other day? You think I could bring it up right now?
Nah. And what about PUBG?
Leave it for another time.
Nah, I'm gonna bring that tomorrow because that's gonna be the perfect talk for that.
I'm have to go any minute now. Anyway, it's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning here.
Thank you.
You a trooper, Foxy.
No, I'm more trooping. I'm gonna play on Switch before I go to bed.
Okay, there you go, Meds. I just put the link to my channel in the chats. Thanks. Appreciate it.
No problem. All right. I guess that's it though, huh? That's about it.
Yeah.
Shout out to the different use, new face. What's going on? For those of you out here, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Can we get to 100 likes at least? Appreciate y'all for joining us. Great show as always, man. Episode 35. I think 35. Man, good time. Definitely good time. XO18 is tomorrow, and hopefully these leaks are not true.
Oh shit, it's tomorrow, right? Yeah. Well, actually today. It's already tomorrow here.
And it's tomorrow. Hopefully the event is good and is not necessarily represented by the leak that we saw on the channel here. Without further ado, though, thank you guys again for joining us. Let's go ahead and get this panel out here, and we're gonna get on out of here. So, ladies,
spend more than half an hour. If they spend more than 20 minutes on keyboard and mouse games, I'm gonna switch off.
Facts. Go ahead,
because you know where it's going. If they're spending, if they dedicate that much time to keyboard and mouse games, you know where this whole thing's going.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Nancy.
Well, hi everybody. This is Titanfall Princess. Sorry I didn't talk too much because I had to keep watching what I was cooking. It's my first time making it, new recipe, so I want to make sure I got it right.
Nintendo Switch, please.
But yeah, you guys know where to find me. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TTFP rules, Titanfall Princess. You guys know where to find me. Like Ron said, hit that like button. There's a lot of you guys here. Let them get to 100 or more. Come on, guys. You got to be there for him. Come on. He provided a lot of entertainment. He's providing you a lot of entertainment. I can't believe people thought you was
a guy. I can't believe it.
Say that again?
I can't believe people once thought you was a guy pretending to be a girl. I can't believe it.
Oh, well.
I'll never forget.
You still got a few retards that do that. So they go.
Well, even now.
I don't know. It don't matter to me. I got thick skin. I don't care. But thanks for joining, and I'll check you guys out next time.
Yep.
All right.
Go ahead. Foxy.
yeah. Let me go. XOXO. I hope it ain't OXO because
I don't know.
It's rude, but let's hope they have a good show. I mean, there's no PSX, so this is their opportunity. If they can't do something with this space they're being granted, because this is a gift. Having the whole of the rest of the year being the only show, apart from the Game Award. I mean, Paris Games Week didn't really. Well, does anyone remember Paris Games Week in October? No. Name one amazing thing about Paris Games Week. You can't.
It was in Paris.
Well, yeah, that's it. That's about it. It wasn't the show that people thought. That when Sony don't go, it's good. Paris Games Week. When Sony's not there, you don't really hear much about it. So let's hope Microsoft seize the moment, take the opportunity, show Xbox gamers and potential Xbox gamers, because you don't want to just please the ones you've got. You want to grow your base as well, more. Right? Show them, potential owners of the Xbox and existing ones, why they should stick around for next gen. Because if you can't do that, you're gonna lose more market share to PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch and PC. But they don't care about PC, do they? They'll still make their money in that space.
Silence.
Meds, go ahead, my brother. You joined us late, but go ahead.
Hey, once again, thanks for inviting me through. I really always enjoy the conversation. It sucks that I'm always got to show up late, man. New Jersey to New York traffic is female dog.
Go ahead and say it. It's a bitch.
Have a great night, everybody is listening. Have a great night, everybody is on the panel here. And if you feel like following me on Twitter, the tag is at Real Medications. I pretty much only talk about fighting, so it is what it is. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Mr. Clay. Go ahead.
All right, thanks a lot. Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Lincoln Clay on the RGT podcast. I want to thank Ryan the Professional so much for having me on board. I sincerely hope that I can come back again. I really enjoyed this. Shout out to everybody on the panel, and it was a pretty good night tonight.
Yeah, anytime, brother, anytime. Craig.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Great time. Thanks for the fun. Play your games, people, or the terrorists win again. December 4th, history will be made when Hellblade goes physical from Ninja Theory. It is a first-party Microsoft game being put physical on the PlayStation. It's the first of many because they ain't got no choice. But play your games when the terrorists win.
All right. He's Sparring gonna say the panel is full of CNN gamers.
I ain't no fake news, sir.
I'm not Don Lemon.
Hey, yo, what's good, everyone? Yeah, as always, man, pleasure being amongst all my good friends here and talking about the hobby that we, like the most. And as always, man, enjoy the games. Enjoy life, and most importantly, people, it's just games at the end of the day. We don't need to threaten anybody with their children. We don't need to threaten anybody by their racial decree. We don't need to make fun of nobody at all. Just have fun being a gamer, enjoy it, and with that being said, gamer by choice, not by trend, episode 35, we out.
Message.
All right. I'm Ryan the Professional, as always. Thank you guys again for joining us for the RGT episode 35. And all I got to say is you guys better hope tomorrow is something special, because to the 27 dumbasses who actually came here and if you think that affects me, it don't affect me. But I'll tell you what will affect me, that pipe bomb that I have brewing for your ass tomorrow. It's not for what it needs to be. So you want something to dislike, that's something to dislike. But don't worry. Without further ado, we'll see you guys next week as always. Soccer counts, no soccer counts at all. At the end of the day, we do what we do, and that's deliver that news. So
play games, not corporations.
And that's why we are the damn RGT podcast.
Same RGT news, same RGT channel. Peace out.
We out.